Tell me how we went from trapping to rapping on BET. Last week I told investor to the Kansas City Chiefs. Golden rule to invest and make that money while you sleep. They say trap a perfect mixture of Warren Buffett and Meach. No more shoebox money, them portfolios elite. Golden rule to invest and make that money while you sleep. I'm gone.
What's good, what's good, what's good, family? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Welcome to another episode of Trappin Tuesday. All right, man, so y'all already know, man, each and every week, we just want to tell y'all, thank y'all. We want to tell you how much we appreciate y'all before we even get this show started, man, because without any of you, there is no us. Without any of you tapping in each and every week, there is no us. You all motivate us, you all inspire us, and you all push us to just give you great content each and every week. And so for that, we just want to say thank you for bringing us into your home after a long day at work, after a long day of entrepreneurship, or after a long day or whatever. We want to thank you for just allowing us to come into your home, in your living room, whether in your car or at work. We just want to say we appreciate y'all, and we are so grateful for each and every one of y'all. So I want y'all to get the likes up. Please share this if y'all don't mind. Like this, share it, and make sure you get the comments in. Let's go, man. All right, man, so like today, like my voice a little raspy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make this short and sweet. When we think about names like Ford and Chanel, Walmart, even Cadillac, Rothschild, Mars, the Bears, we think about names like this, we understand that our last name is not just to identify us. Our last name lets the world know what we left. Our last name lets the world know what's to come. So for each and every one of us, our last name is kind of like our signature on the world's canvas. It lets the world know the Howards was here, the Baileys were here, the Johnsons were here, the Taylors were here. And you have a unique your activity in the world that's tied to your last name becomes your unique penmanship. And so what I want us to do, what I want us to focus on is how do we daily take steps to turn our last name into an asset? Now that comes with some adversity. That comes with a fight. So when I think about that, I think about Jacob in the Bible. And Jacob was flawed. Jacob was actually kind of complicated. There was one night in isolation, one night in pain, where Jacob wrestled with God. And most people say he was wrestling for a blessing. I'd like to think that he was wrestling for a new identity. Because along that wrestling match, he got a new name, Israel. Now in that name, he gave birth to something amazing. Because while he wrestled with God, he gave birth to Joseph, who ruled for God. And I want you to know that inside of you, there's a Joseph that's willing to rule over everything that you wrestle for, that will carry your last name further than what you ever could do. But at some point, somebody has to wrestle. Somebody has to be willing to look foolish. Somebody has to be willing to do the thing that no one else in the bloodline is called to do. I often say that if not you, then who? Because when I look at my lineage, when I look at those who came before me, they may not have left me assets, but they left me blueprint and clues to the fight. And if we look at the people before us and we ask ourselves, what have they left us? I'm pretty sure if we look close enough, if we look hard enough, we can find clues on what they fought for. So I want you to think about where you are right now. You are matter-of-factly standing on somebody's shoulders. That's how you get the vision. Somebody told you something as a child that made you want more. Whether it was to push you forward or whether it was to discourage you, you use that as motivation. And that's you standing in the night, isolated, fighting alone for a name change. A name change. Because adversity is not designed to destroy you. Adversity is designed to shape you, to mold you, to truly show you what you are made of. Turning your last name into an asset will require strength. Turning your last name to an asset will require the ability in you to persevere. Because when I think about turning my last name to an asset, I just don't think about me. I think about who gets to benefit from it. Who gets to say, it's because of my grandfather. It's because of my father. It's because of my uncle. It's because of my great, great, great that I get to do this. When I think about the steps and the things that I'm trying to lay out, when I think about my name being a thread that connects my family to something else, I want to be able to say, I was the last one to get it out the mud. And everybody else was able to get it out the market. So you must be willing to carry your last name, not like a casket, but like a crown. Let's say that again. You must be willing to carry the last name, not like a casket, but like a crown. Because when you carry it like a casket, you carry it with cries. You carry it with a form of sympathy, with a form of letdown. You carry it like it's a burden. And the reason why we carry the last name like a burden is because oftentimes we don't take the time to find the thing in the last name to be proud of. We think about all the traumatic experiences that are associated with the last name. My mama didn't do this for me. My daddy didn't do this for me. My grandmother didn't do this for me. I ain't this. I ain't following that. And that can make the last name heavy. It can make the last name a burden. And so that is important why, it is imperative why we get alone and have that fight. Is why strategically some of us must wrestle. Think about this for a second. How was it that Jacob was the loins that Joseph came from? Jacob also had a brother named Esau. But here's what we do know about Jacob. He was a fighter. He was a thinker. Some say, well, he manipulated his brother out of his birthright. I look at it from another perspective. What if his brother didn't know the importance of his birthright, and Jacob all along was destined for it? Because if we truly know that God doesn't let nothing happen without first overseeing it, then that was all written. Could you be around people that don't know the importance of the thing that they hold? Oh my God. Could you be around people that do not understand the importance of the thing in which they hold? I'm just saying that a lot of times we can look at anything from a bad perspective, and then that allows us to hold the thing that we have like a burden, like a casket, instead of a crown. So tonight, as we get into this episode, I want you to just ask yourself, I want you to tell yourself, I'm carrying my crown. I'm turning my last name into an asset. And I don't even care what is the adversity that I have to overcome. Because my last name will increase in value generation after generation after generation. Every so many years, I want you to do an appraisal on your last name. I need you to do an appraisal on your last name. I want you to see, I want you to appraise the efforts. I want you to appraise the accomplishments. I want you to appraise the adversity that you got through. I want you to appraise the things that you thought set you back, but it renewed your mental. I want you to appraise the things when you thought they counted you out, but how you bounced back from it. I want you to use all those things as appraisal tools, as calculations, as commas that you add to the value of your last name. I want you to be real with yourself. I use my own self. Oftentimes, I praise my last name, right? I look at not just the financial things that I'm doing in life. I often ask myself when I praise my last name, how did I overcome that adversity? How did that situation prepare me for something that I know will come back around in the future? Because the one thing that we know for sure about life is situations love to spin the block. We know that those situations love to spin the block. They take on a new form. They take on a new person. They take on a new language. They take on a new identity. They take on a new house. They take on a new, but we know that that same situation will spin the block, and if we don't get it right, we will repeat the cycle. That devalues the last name. That devalues the last name. So how can I be presented with a situation, and if I get it wrong in the moment, what does it help me? What does it increase in me? What does it develop me to? I want you to think about Jacob. He's wrestling in the middle of the night in pain. Remember, his hip got broke. He started walking with a limp after that, but he got a new identity after that. So the broken hip gave him a new identity so he can handle adversity different. So now when he's in the famine, he ain't panicking. He told his son, hey, go to Egypt. Don't go ask for nothing. I'm going to give you money to buy something. Now, the old Jacob, before he was Israel, probably would have found a way to swindle his way through that situation. He probably would have found a way to talk his way through that situation. But he said, hey, we done collected enough things along the journey. I want you to go to Egypt. Don't fast talk nobody. Don't steal nothing from nobody. We going to go do business in Egypt. Turn your last name to an asset. So, does the fight you go through, how does it transform you? How does it give you a new identity? Our biggest problem is when life knocks us down, we to get accustomed to being down. When life knocks us down, We get accustomed to being low. When life knocks us down, we start operating on a lower level. Instead of finding the adversity as a cutting tool that helps us evolve. Because a diamond before it's a diamond is honestly just a piece of rock. That first has to be cut. And then has to be crushed and applied with pressure. And the great thing about a diamond is, in reality, it gets its value from how much pressure it can handle. So I ask you tonight, let the pressure, let the adversity be the thing that increases your value so that you can turn your last name to an asset. Episode 147, Trappin' Tuesday. Turn your last name to an asset. Let's get to it, y'all. Yeah. Let's go, dog. Bro.
I see.
Bro.
Wait, first off, they in the chat blaming me.
For what?
For your voice. I said, boy, that boy been talking all week.
All week, bro. And I ain't talking about no little talk either, yeah.
2 stages, yelling, jumping up on the speakers.
Big energy.
Flips, backflips, somersaults,
Man, shut up, man.
Bro, we got them going to run out and get tea. We ain't even know it was that bad till you got up there.
Bro, I didn't know either. So yesterday, me and Cam shot some content, and I wasn't really even, I was like, damn, like, where that happen from?
Yeah.
I think happened all of a sudden. I was like, man, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
I was like, man, the show must go on. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man.
But man, first off, shout out to my dog. Killed 2 stages as far as this
Man, we
weekend.
should have had a clip ready, dog.
That's what I was trying to get, but most of it had their copyright music on the joint. I was already looking at that.
What copyright music?
Yeah, some copyright music under that joint, like lace up your boots. You remember?
But we had other stuff.
I know we had.
You was being lazy. You was being lazy.
Yeah.
Keep it real.
But nah.
You was being lazy.
Nah.
You had to be. Because that was only in the beginning.
No, we did the whole joint.
That wasn't in the whole.
Oh no, I'm talking about as far as on the two edits from the shows that we got. You know what I'm saying? But anywho.
Yeah, you being lazy, Negro.
2 joints. Killed 2 joints out
2
here.
2 joints, bro.
Back to back.
Got one more this week.
Yep.
Finished strong.
Well, ain't it multiple?
I think it's 1.
Okay.
But you never know once we get there.
Right. Shout out to Good Soil. Still
Shout out
get
to
y'all
Good Soil.
tickets.
Yep, we got that this week. I'm excited about that. I'm not gonna lie. I was talking to them earlier about just the idea of speaking and how serious I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I think that I was telling them there's a difference between a speaker, a communicator, and an orator.
Yep.
And I think I'm in that communicator spot right here. Right? Where I'm a good communicator. And I just think the oration takes time and experience. You know what I'm saying? But I watched Lisa Nichols orate. Right? But the dope part about what she came to me and she told me something. She said, I was watching you. And I told my husband he should watch you.
Mm-hmm.
She said, because you did something phenomenal that I like, that I haven't really seen too often. She said, you spoke, and then you navigated the audience through what you just did to them. And then you did it again.
Yep.
And again. Getting the response that you wanted, and then explaining to them why they responded that way.
Yep.
She said, that is good. She said so great. She said, that is delicious. That's what she said. She's such a vibe. And she said, honestly, that made me not have to come teach.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to just go into storytelling.
Yep. And sit with him.
And sit on it. So she was like, I want to tell you thank you. And so that did a lot for me, bro. Because, you know, I remember watching her for The Secret for the first time ever hearing about it when The Secret came on, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's my lady's mentor as well. So, and the next thing she said to me was, man, I want us to work together. She's like, I want us to work. She said, I know we can find a way.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? She was like, I know we can find a way. And so that was real dope to me, man. Also, it was just dope having my lady with me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
Holding it down, recording.
Yeah, that was dope. Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm starting to see why, like, it's so cool to just have a lady, dog, that you just rock out with.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to really see. I told her this weekend, I said, man, I feel like we starting to click.
Mm-hmm.
You know, past just we back together.
Yeah.
You know, we back together, we vibing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I feel like we starting to click now. You know what I'm saying? And the dope part about it, like, I haven't been trying to force nothing. You know, we just letting it, you know what I'm saying? So that's been real dope. Yeah, man. So dope weekend. Let's get to
Lisa is such a warm hug. She's the epitome of
Lisa is the epitome of a warm hug.
Like,
I'm talking about just good energy.
and actually, you know what? Shout out to her husband. I connected with him.
No, listen. So let me tell you something. So she did something this week, bro, that I think this generation miss.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember my girl told me something one time when she was with her in L.A. And she was like, you know, the way that Lisa talks to her husband and the way that she lights up when she see him, and she was like, she be telling the girl, you know, about how to deal with their man or whatever. And I was like, I bet that's cool. She was like, nah, babe, it's different.
Yeah.
She was like, I ain't never seen it like that before.
Yeah.
So, you know how you listen to it, you like, all right, you know, I ain't really put too much into it. But what she did this weekend, I said, oh yeah, I get it. So let me give y'all an idea of what she did. So she's on stage speaking, and in the middle of her speech, she just stops and she says, I want to just thank my beautiful husband. He's so delicious, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does this and that, not from a financial perspective, but like what he does to support her. So I'm like, damn, that's dope. Like, you're in the middle of the keynote and you like stop just to
Commercial break.
To think about, to salute your husband.
Yep.
Right? Now, bruh on the other side of the room, but he's, you know what I'm saying? And so then there's a moment in the middle of her speech where she says, she gets thirsty. And she says, baby, could you give me some water?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jeremy Anderson's camp, they ready. I see dude come flying.
He did hurdles.
He done jumped over chairs. This is Jeremy Anderson. So he doing what he's supposed to do. Lisa said, could you get that to my husband?
And the whole crowd.
I said, oh my God. Oh my God.
So he could bring it to her.
So he could bring, let me finish. She said, could you get that to my husband so he could bring it to me? And in that moment, bro, I said, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people might don't get that, but I got it. And I think we got it. It was, I will not give another man an opportunity to serve me when my man is right there. You feel me? I want him to know that. I want him to know.
And he was working.
And bruh, look, listen, his whole energy shift. Like he got up, he got the water, he bring it to, bruh got his camera and got on the floor and started recording the whole while. Everywhere she went, even like bumping into you sometimes, right? And I was just like, oh.
On the floor.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. And then the next thing that happened was, she on the stage, she says, baby, come help me down.
Mm-hmm.
He grab her, she get on, I said, oh, this is different. And what I learned from that, in that moment, it was just like, there's a level of, like, there's a level of each one of us being able to stay in our power, but also be submissive and cater to our person.
And it don't diminish you.
And it does not
take that
diminish
from
you.
you.
It did not make him lesser of a man crawling on the floor, taking shots at his lady.
Yep.
It did not make him lesser of a man for his lady to say, hey, could you get that water and give it to my dude right there? Dude, like here. She like, could you get that? No, I'm lying. She said, thank you, but could you give that to my husband and let my husband bring it to me?
Crazy.
And bro didn't waste no time. Bro got up, opened it.
Yep.
I said, ooh.
Different level of adoration.
That's a different level, bro. And even me, I had never seen nothing like that before.
Yeah.
And it made sense to me and then the next thing was like, while me, her, and Nat was talking, I watched how like she looked for him and made, like when he was coming, like how she lit up.
Yep.
And I said, oh, she really love him.
Yeah.
That's different right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's different right there. And she said something, she was like, it took me so many years to become the woman that was made to be his wife or something like that. And I was just like, yo, that is insane.
This ain't just happened yesterday.
This is an accumulation of, like, I'm not worrying about social media. I'm not worrying about how this look. I'm worried about me and my man, me and my partner.
Yep.
And for him, cause he a tall man. For him, bro, and I'm just looking at this man now I'm not gonna lie, when my lady doing stuff, I immediately just pull out the camera and do what I got, cause I'm a content creator. But to see that level of admiration and, bro, it was just different, bro. So I'm not gonna lie, like that was I'm not the person to get in this generation, I don't get into all that. I just know that was something I had never seen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's real.
And it made me just look at like me and my lady different. Like, okay, like.
You like, there's a level to attain.
That's it.
Like,
that's it.
Okay, you know what?
I was like, ooh, there's a level.
Yep.
There's a level that, and we don't have to be like them at all, but there's a level of respect, love, admiration, watch this, and willingness to put me to the side for her. There's a moment, there will be moments in life where I gotta put me to the side for her. And there's moments where she gotta put her to the side for me. And there's a delicate balance because at some point, egos may get in the way. You know who I am, and you know who I am, right? And bro, it was just, not gonna lie, bro, it was amazing to see.
And not to beat a dead horse, but that's why, like, what we do here and what you do here and the levels that you speak, because I'm tired of these podcasts talking about black women this, black men that, and to see it, not just even from them, even at all the events, both events that you spoke of, that you spoke at, it was nothing but like love, camaraderie between us. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something, bro. I'll be 100% real true, bro. Like, I do not like the way that we don't like each other.
Yep.
Now, I will say this. As I've grown and as I've evolved as a man, that saying makes so much sense to me now. When I was a child, what it was like, it goes something like when I was a child, I did childish things, but when I became a man, I put away childish ways. I think that may be it if I'm saying it wrong. What that tells me is, as a man, there's still the option for you to do childish shit.
Amen.
Because look what he said. Look what it says. As a child, I did childish things, which means the level of my life matched the identity and the activities I done.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But then it says, as I grew into a man, I put away.
You had to put that thing away.
That means I made a conscious decision to not still do childish shit.
Yep.
I made a conscious decision to do what grown men do. And so I can't be mad at kids that do kid stuff. Like, I'm not that person. Man, me young nigga. Cause when I was a young nigga, I did young nigga shit. Just keeping it real, right? But what gets on my nerve is when I see older, mature dudes still doing young nigga shit.
Man.
That's what gets me.
Yep.
And one of the things I don't like for real, bro, is like we perpetuate a narrative that works against us.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like we perpetuate a narrative that works against us. So for me, I remember I put on Instagram the other day, and I'll say this too. I put it on Instagram the other day and I said, Dame Dash, I saw this post come across my page and it said, it was Dame Dash, and Dame was saying like, beef is stupid. Beef is corny. Beef gets people killed. And so I doubled down on it. I posted and I said, bro, I'm too old. I'm 43, my nigga. 40. This year I'll be 43. I got a 9-year-old daughter. I have a lady who I want to have more kids for.
Yep.
I have a brand that we're building and evolving outside of just financial literacy. We got real estate now. We own a 40-acre farm. We own this building. I own an apartment complex. That's 108 doors. I don't even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We are building out media, right? We are hiring people. My goal is to hire 50 people in this building, from editors, C-suite, janitorial, sales, back end, everything. And then not only take it from there, but to go buy another building in New Orleans, to buy another building in Houston, to buy another building in Detroit, to have another one in Oakland, to have another one in Philly, or Baltimore, or DC, and follow the same model, but just get better. Bro, I don't have time to be beefing with nobody. First of all, beef, where I come from, means,
Did you kill, huh?
again, I'm not talking about nobody else, because everybody come from a different place. So it means something different to somebody. So beef to you may just mean me and you arguing. Beef to you may mean we don't speak to each other no more, right? So it means something different to everybody because we all come from different situations. If somebody don't come from a place where they saw people get murdered, they saw people, that was beef. Your beef would be your mom and your daddy cursing each other. We beefing. You sleeping on the sofa, we beefing. I get it. My beef, where I come from and that I've been a part of, my beef was me and my homies on a block shooting dice. The 3 dudes spin the bin in a white Corolla back in the day, bro. I took 2 shots to the leg. One came across my cheeks. You know what I'm saying? I got a graze across my side right here. That was beef. That was beef.
Yeah.
2 of my homies got shot because we broke out running. Where I come from, bro, like beef mean somebody get killed. It mean somebody, mama becomes a widow. Somebody's children become orphans and bastards. People become widows. That would beef where I come from. Not where nobody else comes. Just where I come from, that's what that mean. You feel me? So for me, bro, like I don't have time to beef. Secondly, I'm damn sure ain't beefing with nobody on the internet. Because 1, we probably gonna see each other. If we see each other, you ain't gonna wanna fight. I'm probably ain't gonna wanna fight. Because if I fight you and we fight, I probably gotta go to jail.
Too much to lose.
We got too much to lose. It ain't that neither one of us scary, it's that what we got to lose. What we got to lose. And the same people that's probably egging us on gonna say, oh, them 2 millionaires stupid. And they go from egging you on to saying y'all stupid. Thirdly, the people who be talking crap to people on the internet, you probably don't want to fight. And you damn sure probably don't want to shoot it out. So why are we doing this? Why? Because our culture has cultivated and curated a pot where it is okay It is entertainment.
Yep.
Instead of saying, hey, my dog, I got a problem with you. What's happening?
Yep.
Hey, yeah. Right? We don't know how to, hey, you feel me? Everything gotta be for clicks and likes and, you know what I'm saying? So here's the thing I was talking about. Tay Sweat hit me up. Well, he had a close friend, and I said, you can post this shit, I don't care. He said, hey man, he tagged me, Aristotle, Terry, Ian, like a lot of people that he know that trade, right? And he said, cause Tay is in his like World Cup trading. That shit inspired me, I'm not gonna lie. For him to be in that World Cup trading, I think right now he probably like 3rd or 4th in the world in that trading thing. So I was like, I say, bro, that shit hard, bro.
Right.
First, I didn't know that shit exists. You know what I'm saying? So that was like, cool. So then he said, man, what would it look like if all of us, he said, what percentage would one of us have to get for all of us to say, this person is the go-to person, or this is the person we have to learn from, or this person is a GOAT. So I said, hey, check this out, bro. You know, I said, you can screenshot this, you know, if you want. You know, you ain't really got to tell me private. I ain't tripping. I said, honestly, I don't think outside of Warren Buffett, there'll ever be a GOAT. I said, here's why. Bill Ackman turned 20 million into 2.8 billion. That was a 10,000% return. But yet, we still call Warren Buffett the GOAT. I say what happens is multiple people can be great at what they do. It just means you mastered your strategy.
Yep.
I said it's not like it's football where you get a certain number of years and then you gotta phase out. You feel me? I'm like, yo, we can do this for the rest of our life, dog. I said, so honestly, in my mind, I said, one of us go get $1 billion out the market, that's a league of his own. Then you in a league of your own, from my era. And I said, and then I said, here's the dope part about it. I think you can do it, my nigga.
Let's go.
That's what I told him. I said, I think you could do it, my nigga. And matter of fact, bro, when you do it, my nigga, I'll be the first one to tell you salute.
Let's go.
And his reply to me was, man, we both can do it, my nigga. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, y'all could be the best. That ain't what I'm here for. I'm here to be the best version of trap, master my strategy, master what I can get, and keep getting better so I can teach my tribe. And if everybody get on that type of time, we change this shit, bro. We change. You know why I love that nigga Chad so much, bro? Chad is successful with 85 South.
Mm-hmm.
He probably the only person I can go to in the media game, and not saying nobody owe you nothing. And he just tell me, yo, this is what we messed up at. This is why I could have did better.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you because I know you in pursuit. He said, bro, I listen to you every week. He said, that speaking shit, you got it down pat. Once you build it out, you got it. That's what I want to do. Because I know Chad from 85 South, Ryan from 85 South, they came to me. So now when I see another person trying to build something, I just told Sean that. Look what I told Sean today. I know we're supposed to talk about stocks. Look what I told Sean today. I said, Sean, bro, what you want to do? I said, bro, you don't even understand that I'm paying you to be my mentee.
Yep.
He said,
Billy
huh?
Graham, Warren Buffett, Drake.
I said, bro, listen to me.
Yep.
If I'm you, I say, bro, I would come in here every day. If not at 9, because I know you be coming at all kind of I be coming, but I would find out what time you coming in here, and I would meet you here. And I wouldn't leave until you left. Because here's the things that you're doing. One, you've proven that you know what the hell you're doing in this trading shit. You win and you lose. And you're developed. You keep getting better. And I say, Sean, you are in a space where you understand the trading shit. You're doing pretty good at it, dog. You just gotta work on your confidence, but it ain't like you don't know what you're doing. So I would be studying me if I'm you to learn how you get the where you get at. Second thing is, I'm looking at you and I'll be like, oh, I got an Instagram like Trap got an Instagram. I got a YouTube like Trap got a YouTube. I see he working on the YouTube. I see he working on. I say, so what I will be doing is, I will see how to bring much value to Trap as I can. And as I bring that value to him, I'm now, Trap, you mind if I shoot my YouTube in here? Trap, you mind if I shoot my Instagram in here? Trap, you mind if I? And then I say, you know what happens in that situation? Sean, you want to teach this class with me? Sean, you want to do, hey, Sean, go teach this class. Go do that, bro. I say, bro, if I had to, I say, I'm learning this shit on the fly. I'm learning from a couple people. I say, but bro, imagine if I had like a freaking John O'Brien or somebody like that, where I'm in the media space, I'm trying to learn it.
Right.
Right? I'm Tyler Perry. Hey, what? You need some water?
Water. Tea.
You need a bucket of ice? What they need? Mentos? Because you get the cheat code for free. I'm paying you. Listen to that. I'm paying you to be my mentee. I say, bro, you gotta step it up. I say, then I give him a blueprint. This is what you should be doing to grow what you gotta grow at. Not trying to be hard on him, but I am trying to be hard on him because I don't feel like he's taking full advantage of the opportunity that he has. And it wouldn't do me right if I didn't see it and point it out and then make him make the adjustment. But I said that to say, I won't be able to do that to people too. Because we get so caught up, bro. I said this on my page. I said, we gonna stop falling for that same old banana in the tailpipe.
Yep.
We gotta stop falling for the same old, I hate you, I don't like you. You gotta stop falling for that. Because all we do is perpetuate the thing. It's like they done took their hand off it and they just let us do it now.
And watch.
And I just think we better than that. I know we better than that.
And once we get that together, though,
it's hard.
But the wealth gap now,
that's how you close it.
you know what I'm saying?
That's how we close it, bro. And I think that we, when people be like we fighting for who the black woman is the most this and the black man is the most this. No, we both been dealing with that same bullshit from the same oppressor. So how do we evolve and get better? And you know what I'm saying, bro? So that's kind of, for me, bro, that's what this show represent. That's why I want this to be, that's why the idea to build this out the way we building it out is so that our people, our base, our community says, yo, the Freedom Center is my home. Now, every show that they put out on that network, I rock with it. I vibe with it. The reason why I want to, and I'm going to end this and go what I got to go with. The reason why I wanted to create this meeting, I told you this. I said, bro, we just need better representation. We just need better representation. The only book, and I challenge everybody that's in here, shout out to everybody that's looking. One of the only books you cannot get educated on is How to Build a Media Company.
Right.
You can't find it.
Can't.
You can find a book on Ted Turner. You can find a book on Walt Disney. Bro, but you will not find a book on how to build a media company. Bro, you can go find a book on how to cook crack.
It's wild, but yeah.
But you cannot find a book on how to build a media company because they understand. Media is how you dictate the masses. The dope part about this era and what I love so much, I saw something the other day on TV that said, the idea of influencers have changed. Because now we in another era of influence. This era of influence is you're watching influence now take the shape of global brands. Because what has happened now is the influence has now learned, hey, I can go direct to my people.
Control the narrative.
I can control the narrative. When the last time you seen the people who run Hershey? When the last time we seen the head of Comcast, the head of HBO? We ain't seen their ass. But guess what? You see that boy Mr. Beast everywhere.
Drewski, Casanat.
Drewski, Casanat. Yep. You might don't like them. The Jake Paul boys.
But they
you know why? They going straight to consumer. They going straight to their people. And they cutting it out. And bro, when I said, say bro, like, for me, I grew up watching shows like The Huxtables. I'm like, bro, we don't get that no more. I want to create a new version of it. Bro, you know, we would have kept a different world. You know how many generations of that we could have been in? I won't create that. Living single, I won't create that. I won't be able to create something, bro, that goes so far and reshapes how we see each other, how we look at each other, that's what I want to create here. You know, I don't gotta be Tyler Perry. I could be Wallstreet Trapper though. And this could come from under Big Trap Media that's on the Wall Street Looks Like Us network. Freedom Productions. That ties into our nonprofit. Access for everybody. That's the idea, bro, what we got going on, bro. This ain't just about creating a YouTube channel. It's about creating a vehicle that helps people see themselves, see wealth, and see possibilities different. Because my generation, we get to blame everything on the crack era. We get to blame everything on mass incarceration. We get to blame everything on Bill Clinton. We get to blame everything on, you know what I'm saying? Crack, Reaganomics, because if you're in your 30s and 40s, that's the era you come from under. So it's a good chance your mama was on crack, your daddy wasn't there, your daddy was in jail, your mama was doing some weird shit for bread, or she was struggling her ass off. You seen all that shit. It's a good chance you take 10 of us that was born from the 70s to the late 80s, early 90s, your mama was on crack, your daddy was on drugs. We all fall in that situation somewhere. And so now, but even in the middle of that, we had shows, we had Martin. We had shit that made us like, damn, bro, we don't got it no more. Everything on TV9, shoot 'em up, kill.
And reality TV.
Reality TV, that's scripted.
Yep.
So that's my rant, dog. Shout out to 3,000 people in the chat.
Let's go.
That's what we need.
No hell. Here's the crazy part. Shout out to all the fathers too, because we're coming up on Father's Day.
Coming up on Father's Day.
They said fathers eat free this week and this Sunday at Chick-fil-A. Why they do us like that, brother? Why they do us like that?
That hurt.
You know what I'm saying?
That hurt. Man, let's run a birthday. Let's run a Father's Day.
Let's go.
Right quick, man.
This Father's Day, we don't just celebrate dads, we celebrate all the kings out there that stand tall for the family, that wear the crown. They're not only just raising children, they're passing down wisdom, legacy, and information to the next generation. And here at Trapper Apparel, Inc., we appreciate you, and we want to give you a salute. Matter of fact, promo code SALUTE gives you 25% off the entire apparel line. Hey, Kings, we know you hold it down, so here at Trapper Apparel, Inc., happy Father's Day, Kings.
George? Come on, George!
You know what I'm saying? Doing ads, commercials,
Come on, George. George, elevate.
Let's go.
George said, I got the ads.
Right. No need to call Trap. I got it.
All right, man. Listen, man. We got a Father's Day code out, man, for the fellas, man. 25% off for the dads, man. We got love for y'all, man. Up until 6/10/25. Use code SALUTE, man. I like that, George. George, you're getting better. That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Before we go into it, man, let's show the what you call it right quick, bro. And then we'll get to the mantra. Let's show our coming up next week. Let's show them. This week, tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Let's show it to them. I just thought about stuff.
What?
How long is the show?
I ain't seen the full latest one. I just got the latest update about right before the show started. So I gotta look about 12 minutes done.
So hold on. I don't want to take up too long. Let's do the mantra first.
All right, let's get it.
Let's go back to that.
All right, let's get it.
Let's do that. Let's do the mantra first, and then I apologize. Let's do the.
Plug in your pack. Just make sure you good.
It's on. It's on. It's on. I was saying something. My bad, y'all. I want to do the mantra first.
Let's get it.
And then do that.
Let's go.
All right, let's do the mantra. Then we'll go back to it. My bad. I skipped, y'all. My bad. I am a certified Wall Street trapper. I'm confident in my ability to make great investments. The stock market is a machine that prints money, and I'm more than capable of operating this machine. Not only will I free myself, but my family will eat for a lifetime based on the information I apply today. I'm a money maker and a wealth builder. Today, I break all the chains that anchor me to that poverty mindset. My ancestors will smile now because I've turned our last name into an asset. My family's purchasing power will increase indefinitely. Today, I make the declaration that no longer will I be a slave to money. No longer will a generation behind me inherit lack. No longer will I submit to selling my time for money. I am a first-generation millionaire. I am the architect of my family's legacy. I am a certified Wall Street trapper. And Wall Street looks like us now. Let's go, man. All right, man, let me shout out to my people right quick. I sound like Kermit the Frog, bro. Let's see, man. Roxanne was good. Toots was good. Toots, I see you, family. You heard me? Kiara was good. Stock Shacks, I think that's it, was good. Rams was good. Talisha was good, Valley. The one guy was good. Art was good. Elijah was good. Shazam was good. Dancing Diamonds was good. Pat Davis was good. Shazam X was good. Will Mack was good. Carolina Blue was good. Larry Morgan was good. Jeremy was good. Jelly was good. Thavion was good. B. Wall was good. Mike G was good. KJ was popping. Cheesy bread. Assalamu alaikum, fam. All my people in LA, I hope y'all safe out there. You hear me? B. Ward, I see you. Carolina Blue, I see you. Thavion was good. Brandon was good. Cortez was good. Young Boy Live was good. Oh, I see y'all. B. Dukes was good. Hey, I see y'all. Mac was good. Fruit Loop was good. KG was good. Coco was good. LA was good. Pascal, I hope I said that right, was good. D-Block was good. Double R was good. Yeah. All right, now. Okay, now that we did that.
You know what I'm saying? Now we ready.
Now we ready. All right, I was out of line. Hey, that haircut fresh, boy.
Oh, no, that thing crispy. That boy bad with the blade, bro.
No spray either.
You know what I'm saying? He bad with that thing.
No spray.
Yeah.
No paint.
Yeah, he good.
It's not a paint job.
It's not a paint job. No Beijing. You know what I'm
No
saying?
paint job.
Anti-Beijing.
Yeah, we don't do it. Dougie Fresh was good. All right, now, let's go into it.
Room. What room can they all fit in? Because I don't want it scattered all around.
The trap. About post-production.
You know, and it's just, you know, the building about to be a massive project, bigger than everybody's ever seen. Of course, I don't think nobody gonna get it like I get it, but at the same time, I need them to be locked in. For me, it's setting the expectation high, and not having a place for mediocrity to live, not having a place for complacency to live. One of the books I got the squad reading moving forward is Blue Ocean Strategy. Really good book. And it's talking about filling the gaps, thinking outside the box, not being where everybody else is at. And that requires a mindset shift, so.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
I need y'all to understand, too. So my dog actually... Let me make sure we clear. Trap produced.
You gonna do that?
Trailer.
You gonna do it?
You produced the trailer. I gotta give you your flowers. You and Cam put that thing together. You produced the trailer. So I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not mad at it at all. Journey to Freedom, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wall Street. Looks like us.
I ain't mad at that.
Shout out to the Patreon and Trappers Anonymous. Y'all will be getting it early.
Shout out to the Patreon and Trappers Anonymous. They gonna get it early.
Go.
Jose, you see what the people saying
Oh, no, that's
in
fine.
the chat, huh?
Yeah.
Bernard, you saw that? That nigga be sleep.
He sleep.
That nigga be in the back sleep. So let me tell y'all what happened. I gotta tell y'all what happened. You hear me? So Cam been with us for a little minute, maybe about 4 or 5 months. And so what we have been doing is we have been just documenting everything for so long. So when Cam came in, the goal was to finish doing what's called building a brand. But I'm not gonna lie, I think Cam came up with the idea of Journey to Freedom, right? Or did y'all do it? I don't know where it came from. Did you come up with it, Cam? Yeah, because I don't want to take credit for that. I don't know how they went. Mine was building a brand. I thought we was gonna finish that. So I know, Jose and the producer came up with the idea. And so I was like, I bet when they first showed it to me, I was like, I bet I like the concept, but I'm the type of person where, I don't restrict what the team does, right? Everybody got free reins to create. But I went to Jose and I said, it's not telling a story the way I want it to. So we gotta get better at telling a story. And so, Jose was like, man, I let that be Cam baby. I'm like, all right. So I told Jose, I said, listen, Cam can't tell a story because he wasn't there. So we gotta let him feel what that's like. So what I did was I took Cam, me and Cam and took a ride. And I told Cam, I said, look, you the new kid on the block, but you got an immense amount of talent. Don't downplay your talent because you got respect for the big dogs. Make them niggas feel the pressure. I said, you got talent, bro. And if you don't never step into your talent, the big dogs ain't gonna never feel the pressure. And it's not because they not respecting you, it's because they know they've been here. They know they got an idea what the brand's supposed to be, but if you don't press them, you can't tell them we can do better. You got a mind. I say, so listen, I want you to act like you going for Jose's job.
Let's go.
He looked at, he said, what? I say, nah, bro. There needs to be competition, not just in this part of the business, but in every part of the business. The best person always comes to the top. That's how I go. So I said, if you gonna take on Journey to Freedom and you wasn't here, your goal now is to talk to George. When you got a clip, George, what was this like? How did that feel? I said, don't let them give you them, I don't want make trap mad answers. That's the answers you want. That's what make Journey to Freedom good. Man, that nigga used to piss you off? Man, tell me how it feel when he piss you off. Tell me about it.
Yep.
How did that feel? How y'all relationship is? Oh, we like brothers. Did you ever want to punch him in the mouth? How does that feel? Did you ever want to tell him, screw you and I'm going back home? Like, get in him. Ask Jose what it felt like when you in trap bump heads. That's what this gotta feel like. I say, all right, that's your baby, I got an idea. So I went on, I understood how I wanted it to feel and how I wanted it to look. So I said, all right, Jose always says to his team, I'm always competing with trap. And the idea behind that is, he know I'm gonna put in the work. So I said, all right. In my mind, I thought about it. I said, I'm about to put pressure on this nigga. Just because I shoot the content, I'm about to go in producer mode. Only because I have a vision for it, but I be doing so much other stuff, like I don't be locked in. I'm saying, all right, this is what I'm about to do, because I know what's gonna happen. So I said, Cam, from now on, don't show it to Jose. Show it to me. Show me the clips we working on.
I like that. I like that.
Don't show it to Jose. Show it to me. I said, because if you let Jose touch it, you letting him put his touch on your work. It's your work. Make it yours. Don't give him the finished product. Make him look at the finished product like,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how you gotta make him look at it. So I get it, I look at it. So I'm telling Cam, hey, this the components that we need to have. I'm like, yo, when somebody's name come up and they being introduced, we need to put this look into it. We need to have a lower third if it's a guest. Have a lower third on it. If somebody in the team and their name pop up in the show, we need to have that component. When we switching time frames, we switching days, come in with something. I did like that. Come in with something. You know what I'm saying? Make it tell a story. So he presented the episode to me. I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, I see where you're going with it. Bro, at 2 hours before the show, I said, hey, take all that shit out. I said, that whole back part, that don't even much, I said, that's a filler.
I love it.
That's a filler. We ain't filling in nothing. Tell the story. I said, so take that out of it. Cam said, what I like about it was he said, bet. He said, bet. I say, now right here, we can add this. I say, this part right here, girl, that don't belong in the clip. It don't do nothing. Why is it here? He was like, I said, you was trying to fill it in. Don't fill it in. Because the audience can see it, so they can feel it. The goal for the show is to make them be like, oh shit, that's good. You want them to notice all of the nuances so they can see the story and then say, yo, what's next? Because now they watching the story trying to say what else they adding to it. Damn, this feels different than the old one. You know what I'm saying? So he came to me, he's like, this is what I got. I say, now follow this theme through the whole thing. I say, and next, this don't need to be 12 minutes. It need to be 25 minutes. 12 minutes is a YouTube educational thing. This is a story. You need to lock them in for 25 minutes. That's the goal. Cam came through. Cam came through. Good, man, shout out to Cam, man.
Go.
Shout out to Cam, man.
Let's go.
That's the type of excellence I need here. In every part of this thing. It's looking at something and saying, I'm not trying to defend it, I could do better.
I could do better. Every little.
I could do better. And look, how we know it was better? Immediately, the people in there said, hey, y'all done leveled that thing up. Or the Instagram pop-up, or the They said it in the chat. Shout out to the squad. All right, let's get to it, man. We got a lot to talk about today. Shout out to Cam, man. Now, this version of Journey to Freedom gonna be really good. This gonna set the stage for, but notice, I think the people notice, even the production on here getting better.
Oh yeah, that's all they've been saying.
Bro, I stayed on the phone with Steve last night for an hour and a half. He called me. I said, hey, bro, we gotta get better. We gotta give him, I said, we gotta be obsessed with the content viewers satisfactory. We gotta be obsessed with it. Like, we gotta not even look at a show like, bro, we gotta look at a show, when we create a show, we gotta look at it like, we know the Trappers gonna rock with us regardless, but how do we make them make somebody else watch it? And when they watch it, they don't just feel like it's somebody that put a camera up. It's, oh boy, this a real, oh, they really, I'm gonna watch this.
The second week, we got the wireless boy up.
Getting better. All right, let's get into it, man. So, we had a rally at the end of the day that was really good. We saw the S&P and the NASDAQ fighting today. We saw China and Russia. So, man, just shout out to y'all for rocking with us, man. Just shout out to y'all for y'all don't, I'm gonna say something before we get into it. Y'all don't know how much we really focus on the quality of content we give y'all. Let me just say this right quick before we get into the show. These dudes give me a list every day about how much money they need me to spend. And I don't like it. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. Especially Ben. Ben be sending me all kind of stuff out of catalog. Hey, we can get this. It costs $65 million. Ben, I'm not buying that.
32 cents.
Yeah, I'm not buying that, Ben. But I like the idea.
We'll get there.
Later, you know, he an Emmy Award winner. Nominee, I mean.
Right.
Hey, Trap, let's get this. It can enhance the quality of how much it costs, $100 million. Ben, I ain't Tyler Perry, bro. I ain't him.
Put on a payment plan.
But I like that you hold me in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
Then he try to hit me with something like this. If I could do this for free for you, Trap, I really would. That's what Ben be hitting me with, you hear me? Trap, man, you inspire me. So
Wait, why you got no whisper like you?
Listen, no, bro. He got a smooth, listen, in his younger days, I know he was you hear me? If he wasn't married,
Himothy.
bro knew how to finesse. He was like, Trap, listen, I just want you to understand something. If I could do this for free for you, brother, you inspire me so much. I would do this for free just so I can be a part of what you building. And in my mind, I be saying, nigga, you good.
I see what you did.
I see what you did. And then did you get the link I sent you? What link, Ben? It's a flying balloon that takes pictures of all 9,900 seats, and we can control it from here.
Oh, man.
Don't send me that no more. Never.
Look, I be telling him, I say, hey, send it to Bernard first. So Bernard
No,
can
now let me tell you how B do. You got a minute? This B, he come with ease. B gonna pull up on me. You got a minute?
Yep.
I got a minute. B, what's up? There's some good parts, some bad parts about this. You might not like it, but I think it can really, I think it's worth it.
It's gonna elevate.
It's gonna take us to the, because we just about, let me hear it, B. So, you know we've been working on this thing, right? And man, I'm telling you, like, we are almost there. We are almost there. But I think if we add this, it will really get us over the top. How much it costs, B? $1 million. No. All right, I know we're not right there right now, but listen, let's just, later on, let's keep it. Let's just keep it there. This is gonna, because I was working with this company, and like before they did the merger and acquisition, right? The CEO, you remind me so much of him, because you're just a visionary.
He's trying to grease the wheel.
Bruh. You just a
But they
visionary.
gotta learn how I do it. When you give me stuff,
No, everybody got their own thing.
I gotta put it like a priority list.
Yeah, everybody got their own
This is
thing.
what we working on.
I love it though, because I gotta navigate it.
Yeah.
So this you right here. All right, so let's get these 4 no's out the way. All right, let's get these 4 no's out the way so I can tell you.
It's actually 5 of them.
Yeah, I know you about to say no, right? But let me get the 4 no's out the way. All right, yep, no, yep, no, yep, no. All right, you my dog, I just want to make sure. LaShawna gonna come, Leon! No, L. Oh, Leon! L, no. Sorry. Anyway, I love working with y'all, man. I love it, man. And watch when we have 50 people in here. All right, let's get to it, man. We got a dope show ahead of us. All right, so we had a rally today, man. I was telling the Patreon I appreciate the Patreon and Trappers Anonymous, man. I was tired yesterday, so they let me get away with not posting nothing in either group yesterday. I came back today, we got busy. So S&P, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, everybody got up today. We still having talks with China, which I think is important. But the market isn't blowing you away right now. It's what I call slow grinding. And what I mean is, like, you're not having no serious it's like grinding you out. It's like one of them fights where you're just in a phone booth. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be willing, you gotta navigate this. And I was telling my people in the Patreon today, like, you gotta be cool with chilling. Don't overexpose yourself. And we gotta kind of be more precise with our entries. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be in position so that when the thing does happen, we there. But also, we gotta be willing to know, like, where we gonna cut it if it go another way on us, because we kind of just in that position where it's just, I like to call it's coiled up. So if you go look at the market, like, you don't really see nothing. You see, there's some outliers that's just going crazy. But if you look at the market, for the most part, it's like in this tight box right now, right? Not too high, not too low. You got some things giving you a few percentage based on, but for the most part, most stocks is in a $5, $10 range, and they ain't really going nowhere. And so it's gonna be pivotal for us to have discipline right now, right? Like, not going all in, not like, if you see, like, we in a play go down a couple dollars, you don't like, man, get frustrated with it, right? It's one of those, we in that situation where, like, it's slow grinding. You know what I'm saying? It's slow grinding because the market wants to anticipate. I was looking at something today and it said that because July 9th is around the corner. And July 9th is when the 90 days is up. And so I think we heard the Trump administration say, hey, bring y'all best offers, yada, yada, yada. We also going to talk about tonight how, China really has, and people don't understand, is like, I saw a dude on the TV say something that was real important to me. He said, so the rare minerals thing is important because America don't have that. We don't have the rare earth minerals that's needed for a lot of stuff. And so dude said something on the TV, he said, watch when we run out of magnets. He said, watch when the U.S. don't have access. So that comes from a mineral that we don't present. That comes from a metal that we don't have, right? He said, watch how much of a bind America will be in if we don't have access to the things we need to make magnets. And I thought about it, and I said, hey, bro, you know what? A lot of stuff need magnets. A lot of stuff. Listen.
Most people think magnet just the thing you put on the refrigerator.
Yeah, like, nah, bro. Like,
coils and all
a
these
lot
stuff.
of stuff need, and I just went down a rabbit hole of like, what all need magnets? Bro, there was over 6,000 things that, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. He said, and his exact words was, if you think the chip shortage was an issue, and Sean, you remember that from last year. He said, if you think the chip shortage was an issue, watch when we don't have access to magnets. Bro, magnets is in like...
Bro, I just did a quick joint. Speakers, headphones, microphones, televisions, computers, cell phones, MRI scanners, like household appliances, industrial machinery, medical devices, transportation, everyday objects.
Bro.
And that's just the first skim.
Say it again?
Literally, speakers, headphones, microphones, televisions, computers, cell phones, MRI scanners, household appliances, industrial machinery, medical devices, transportation, everyday objects, doorbells, toys, and that, like I said, that's just the first
Cars, trains,
yep,
trucks.
Yep.
And guess what? That's what we got to get from China.
In a bind, Nate.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
That's what we got to get from China. That's one of the rare earth minerals we got to get from China. We don't produce it. I didn't think about it till bruh said it. It's crazy how we don't think about, and that's why we telling people, when people like, we got the upper hand. Both countries need both countries. But bruh, if we don't have magnets, that's something you don't even think about.
So whatever else thing is we not even thinking about.
So the negotiation, we about to really see, and I'm not saying, here's the great part, and I say this every week, bro, like, no matter what your political stance is, you need bruh to succeed. Could we live here? We need, like, he's here now. He's been in here 100 and something days now, right? We need him to, so we need him to get on the art of the deal, bro. Get on your art of the deal game, bro. So we've been getting some news been coming out saying that the talks are going good. Roll that clip right quick where he says he's just having a hard time with, China understand. But I think he says, we having a China.
Have you gotten an update from your team in London negotiating the China trade talks?
We are doing well with China. China's not easy. I think we're doing very well. They're over there now. I'm only getting good reports. It's a little early, but they'll be calling in soon. In fact, probably when I get back, I'll have my first call from them. We want to open up China, and it'll be a great thing for China, a great thing for the rest of the world.
Boy, that boy ain't say nothing.
Well, what happens is, both of them gonna happen, because on the flip side, though, China's deliveries to America is at the lowest point it's ever been. It hasn't been this low in a long time. Also, even though China is giving putting out money to, yep, there it is. China export to the U.S. clock is the sharpest drop in more than 5 years, down 34% in May. Imports from the U.S. dropped over 18%, and China's trade surplus with America shrank by 41% year on year to 100 to 18 billion. Yo, they punching each other right now. They punching each other right now. Right? Like, you need that. We need that, they need that. Or if both countries can then say, you know what, they want a deal, but it's gonna be, I think the biggest issue was in 2018, China did make a deal with America and they still ain't do it with Trump. He wound up getting out of office, so he couldn't follow through on that deal. So now they doubling down on that. America need these minerals so we can do what we gotta do. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this unfolds, bro. It's gonna be interesting because it's not like China is just winning the negotiations either. Like when you're dropping stuff coming to America's at 34% and we the world's biggest consumer, that hits your economy in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out. It's gonna be real interesting to see how this plays out. Howard Luckin said, hey, we doing pretty good. And their version of good and what we, like, you remember April 2nd, he said, this is gonna be good. And then we got a fiasco. So I'm willing to see. I think the market is anticipating 10 to 15% across the board. Because the market can deal with that. Anything more than that may be a doozy. Let's go a little further. Let's get back. Yep. All right, man, we had a pretty good day today. Tesla, 5%. NVIDIA, almost 1%. AVGO, 0.25%. Google and Meta. Say, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We did Google a lot last year. I kind of stayed away from Google this year. Eli Lilly, where my Patreon at? Eli Lilly, man. God, show me the money. Eli Lilly, show us the money. Sheesh. Tesla, what we got? Nike. UPS went crazy today. Interesting to see. Exxon. Say Exxon and Chevron really been getting slept on. And I'm gonna just say that. MU, Qualcomm, Intel, up 8% today. I ain't even see them jokers. Look at KLAC. That's one I've been staying away from too. Cadence Design, Ubers, ServiceNow. All right, let's go a little further, man. Okay, see how close that is? That's close, bro. 4.8 million calls, 4.1 million puts, total of 9 million with a put call ratio of 0.85. Not bad. Let's go a little further. Feel Greed Index today, 64. Last week we was at what? 59. Last week we was at 59. Let's go a little further. Gotta show the people the money. Let's go. All right, so let's get into it, man. Bro, Apple, bro, I'm glad we got this Apple Play to December. It's kind of been falling to about 198, and it's been kind of getting as high as 205, 206. It's been in that same range. It ain't really been moving too much. AVGO been firing off. It's in the range. I needed to see it pop, and I'll be honest with you. I needed to either go to 250 or I needed to fall to 135. That's kind of the areas I need to get back in on it. Costco, been eating off Costco for a minute. It's been going back and forth. We done took some off it. CrowdStrike did us good. That's the new crowd strike play we in. I think we got a couple more weeks before I can show y'all that. It really bounced back on us today. That was real dope. Let's go a little further. Shout out to the Patreon, man. Let's go. Thank you, Miss Lily. You must be from New Orleans. You got to be from New Orleans to know that. You got to be from New Orleans to know that. Thank you, Miss Lily. All right, Goldman Sachs. That's been our baby right there. It's been putting some people in their feelings, but it's definitely been our baby. Eli Lilly. I love you so much, baby, but you expensive. You're expensive. That sucker is expensive. I think I got 5 contracts in that, bro. That thing is expensive, bro. Meta is doing, we eating good on that Meta play right there. This was a Meta play I put in the other day. So I'll say this on the show. I put this play in using, shout out Patreon there, bro. They crazy. They crazy. So I tell them, because I'm transparent with them, I say, hey, y'all, I made a play. I don't really want to tell y'all to play because I'm working on a strategy in a different way. I'm using this continuation strategy, right? Which is where you don't, so one of the things I'm studying is, I always say we don't buy donuts, we buy basketballs. Well, a great thing about a basketball is sometimes it can bounce really, really high. And it doesn't always come back to pull back. The sucker just keep on going up. So there's certain things you gotta look for in that to make it, it's called a continuation trade. Meaning the trade is continuing to go up. Now, I've studied like 4 good, world-class traders on this, and they said that the best part of a trend is the middle, right? It was like your goal is not to get it, your goal is not to find the beginning of the trade, and your goal is not to find the bottom, and your goal is not to try to short it at the top. Your goal is to find it somewhere in the middle because that's the best part of it. And so while I've been doing my technicals, we've been pinpoint on a lot of stuff. I think the only thing we didn't pinpoint really good was the Palantir play, right? That play didn't really pinpoint like we wanted. And it was on me. Because I'm not gonna say that I got impatient, but I saw it hit the 130. I saw it hit 130 3 times. And normally if it can hit a price 3 times, the 4th time, it'll be the time it'll pop up. That usually happens like 70%, 65, 70% of the time based on what I studied. So by the time it bounced it on the 3rd time and fell back, when it reversed and came back, I was like, oh, it's gonna bust through it this time. But that thing hit that and came right back. I said, ooh, you sucker. You heard me? Yeah, you sucker. So that was kind of on me. And I had another price on it at like 122, but I thought it was gonna bust through. So that was my second resistance was 122. It didn't do it. I took that. I wasn't tripping. But with the Meta play, it was me using this continuation trade. It was looking for these signs on the left to show you how it could keep going forward if you find a resistance. It's just a little, it ain't complicated, but I was like, all right, bet. So I get that Patreon. I tell them, all right, look, y'all, I'm gonna be transparent. And I'm telling y'all because I'm gonna post it on Trappin Tuesdays, and I don't want y'all to be like, Trap, why you ain't tell me? They come in there, man, nobody don't hear that shit, Trap. So they tell me, so some people like, man, Trap, I respect the leadership, you heard me, but let us figure it out. But I'm like, in my mind, how you gonna figure it out? You gotta understand the strategy. And I'm still working through it. Man, shut up and put the play in here. Man, shut up and put the play in the group, dog. So I'm like, man, I'm not putting the play in here. Man, you tripping. We grown. We grown. We grown, dog. Let us make our own decisions. That's the tough stuff. But in my mind, you don't know the strategy. So they like, bro, just shut up and put the play in here.
Shut up and play.
Like, they ain't saying it like that, but they like, bro, just put the play here. Like, let us see what it is. I'm like, all right, bro. So I put the play in there, you hear me? And it was expensive, right? But it was funny because I'm gonna let you figure it out. Yeah, like, let me figure it out. Like, but because I know I'm gonna show it, I don't wanna, they ain't care. They ain't care. So that's the play. I put $250,000 in there. I was sitting on about 700,000. Maybe about 500 at that point. I put 250 in that bet. So we'll see what it do.
Is it at one?
One play. One play.
So you up like
one play.
Dang.
I put 250 in it. So we'll see. We'll see. So got the Netflix play, that joint running. NVIDIA play, what we did was, and this NVIDIA play not moving. So we been in this play. We got out before earnings. It was at 135. It went up to 141. It came back to 135. I told the team, if it can hit 129, I got a play for us. That sucker went to 134 and right back to 141, touched 143, came back down to 140. So I don't know, man. It's right around, I think the dope part about this game, shout out to my guy, Ozell. He always said it's a patient man's game. So that's what we playing. Palo Alto, you know, we doing pretty good on that one. It hasn't let us down. Let's go a little further. Palantir play, shout out to Katie, her baby daddy playing games with us. But I think it's just an interesting play right now. I think it's an interesting play. It's going to fight to get past 135. But even once it break 135, if it doesn't have a strong catalyst, it's going to just do what it's been doing. It's going to bounce at 135 and come back down. So I'm going to have to really watch this play. I might don't stay in. I think if it breaks 135, I'm going to have to let it see what it does. Then I might just get out of it simply because it's in uncharted waters, right? And once it breaks the 135, there's nothing else for me to base my optimism on other than it's just going to keep going. And I don't want to be in a situation where I'm just saying, I don't want to base my thesis on it's going to keep going. That's not a good thesis, right? And so I think if it bounces past 135, if it doesn't, I'm going to have to watch it. If it doesn't bounce through it and has a catalyst behind it to keep going, I don't mind taking the money out of it or at least scaling back down on it small, you know what I'm saying? Because it's in no man's land, you know what I'm saying? Unlike Spotify, unlike Netflix, when they hit no man's land, they just kept going. They bounced and they kept going. They bounced, it'll bounce down and create a new high. It'll bounce down, create a new high. For this one, it's hitting 130, it's bouncing back down. It hit 135, come back down. Like it ain't, and it's struggling to get back. You know what I mean? Even if you look at the candles, they small. So I'm just cautious about that. Spotify. I think the first one is up big. The second play was the second play we put in. The first play, I think, is up like 181%, if I'm not mistaken. Spy play still rolling. I definitely want to get another spy play. Shout out to my guy, AB, in the group. I might steal one of his plays. I think he been looking at spy. I be looking at the spy contract, but AB be shorting the piss out of it. Not shorting it, but he be doing shorter contracts with it. He be hitting it for like a week. He be in it for 3 days, and he be like, we got money, we gone. I be like, God damn. God damn. Listen, AB be sniping the piss out of that spy. And what I like about it, though, he take the trappers with him. You know what I'm saying? He be like, hey, y'all, we about to go hit this spy play. Then I know they about to strike because he put the little man with the gun in. I said, they about to strike, you hear me? But shout out to them because they've been striking that spy, I ain't gonna lie. I like that because he take them with him. For me, I like people in a group that sincerely won't see other people win. That's the shit I like, bro. Like, we a family. Like, I hate when somebody in that bit like they done lost some bread. I be like, yo, what the play was? What you was in? Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's always getting at your own risk, but that's what you got a community for. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so they been sniping the piss out of, they been spanking SPY. Now, we've been in the one SPY play and it just keep running up. I think we're about 45% on it or something. But remember, ours is out a little longer. They been that joker for 2 weeks, 3 days, they gone. I be like, them little mud lovers. Yeah. So, shout to that. So this is the Tesla play we put in today. So my thesis behind this play was simple. I can't tell y'all the call. I can't tell y'all the expiration. But what I can say is, when Tesla got down to 185, it was in a demand zone. It was a low that I hit a while back. I wanted to get in at 305. That was my idea for it. Once it breaks 305, I was gonna get in. But what happened was the sucker went from 306 to 318. I said, God dang. And so my next spot was at another price. So I always give myself 3 prices. 2 prices down, 2 prices up, in case I miss one. So I hit my second price up, then I gave them an explanation on what I saw. So we'll see. We got in it today around, I think 330, 345, no, 325, something like that we got in today. So we caught that. Visa just running. I told y'all we were still in Visa and we were still in waste management. I promise you on everything I love. I promise you on everything I love. This play done pissed me off to the max because it'll stay down for 3 weeks, get up $1,000 for 2 days, and then go back down for 3 weeks. So because it won't play like that, right? The next time it get up $1,000, get out of my house. Get out of my house. So either you gonna kill me, waste management, or you gonna give me my $1,000 and I'm gonna go about my business. Cause I don't got time for what you got going on. Play on my nerves. You be the only one red sometime. Even Palantir done made me up $50 at one point, right? Palantir up $50. You the only one still red $4,000. Pissing me off, man. Visa done just blew them out the water. I got at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Next time, you go up $1,000. Same thing I did with Sprouts Farmers Market. I say, Sean, it got up $2,000. Look, I got out of it for the $2,000, and guess what happened? The next day, I say, see, that's what I'm talking about. Them stupid games right there. Play silly games, get silly prizes. All right, let's go a little further, man. Shout out to the trap, man. You want to come join the family? Come join us, man. Y'all know what we're doing. Freedom Index in the building. We up 22%. We ain't really go nowhere from last week. AJG is up. Costco, CrowdStrike, Meta, they all up. Netflix, they all up. NVIDIA, Palantir, look, Sprouts Farmers Market, all up. So somebody in the Patreon asked me today about AJG, and I said, I don't think that it's an option company. Remember, I haven't moved it. It done been up 5,000, it done been up 1,000. So, yep, I think I'm gonna swap AJG out and Sprouts Farmers Market toward the end of the year. Let's go a little further. Certified Trap of the Week, let's get to it. All right, Certified Trap of the Week is Jackson Ward. All right, Jackson Ward is one of the richest, most valuable, and significant neighborhoods, nicknamed the Harlem of the South. Because of its strong African-American heritage and culture, the people of Jackson Ward in the early 20th century created a self-sustaining economy, made the era famous as the Black Wall Street, alive with restaurants, theaters, and clubs. The area was a center for Black enterprise entertainment from the early 1920s to the late 1940s. Let me ask you a question right quick before we get into that. Virginia the South?
I ain't trying to get flushed today. Yeah. But they actually consider up to Southern Maryland on down as the South.
Wow.
Because you got to think the North go all the way up to like Maine and all the way up there. So they consider Southern Maryland all the way down as the South. But I say it out loud. People from down here, they be like, man, if you don't shut you. But yeah, so Virginia is considered the South.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna put it in the chat because I know
that ain't the Mason-Dixon line. They above the Mason-Dixon line. I was always taught everything under the Mason-Dixon line is the South.
Cause y'all from down bottom.
Ah.
Like, ain't no way.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that one. You might, I think after Carolina, you out of here. You up north. After South Carolina, you out of here. Let me see, it's the Tennessee, Kentucky, then the Carolinas? No, it's Carolinas, Tennessee, Kentucky. I think Kentucky is the furthest.
They fought in the South for the Civil War.
I think Kentucky is the furthest you could go. I think after Kentucky, you out of here, bro. Yeah, you after you pass the bluegrass state, bro, it's over. I'm not going to agree with that.
Hold up. Let's do it. We got the votes going right now. I want to say, where is the Mason-Dixon?
Maryland and Pennsylvania.
What?
The Mason-Dixon line.
It separately is what?
The Pennsylvania and Maryland.
Dang.
See, I think it is all the way down there.
No. I was always taught anything, so I didn't ever know, but I was always taught anything under the Mason-Dixon line is the South.
Yeah.
So
I forgot how far it went. That's why that's why my first question was, is it below the Mason-Dixon line? That was my
we
first
have geography lessons out this joint.
That's why my first
Southern
question
border
was
of Pennsylvania.
Yep. If it's below the Mason-Dixon line, it's the South, bro. Damn.
That's crazy.
I mean, my whole time in Maryland, we always said.
So Maryland's below the Mason-Dixon line?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, get the fuck. Nah. So you
Southern boys out here.
telling me Baltimore's the South. Man, get the
Southern boys in the building.
Ain't no way.
Hey, I'm lucky Ash ain't in this joint, because I promise you, every time I said that, that's like blasphemous, bro.
Man, let's go, man.
But look, 61%.
Says what?
Virginia's the South.
We can't deny it. If it's below the Mason-Dixon line, I'm not gonna fight that fight.
Man, it's crazy.
Let's go a little further, man. Let's get into it. Damn, I just learned.
Unfortunately, the stains of the Confederacy have just kind of been centered when you speak about Richmond. Through the project, yes, it's about a local origin story, but what we found is that it's really a part of a national narrative, or at least it should be. We too were Harlem of the South. We were a little Africa. We were a Black Wall Street.
Established in 1871, the ward was created to concentrate Black political power into one district. This concentration ultimately allowed the neighborhood to grow into a thriving center of Black entrepreneurship. Nicknamed the Harlem of the South, it was registered as a National Historic Landmark District in 1978.
When we were thinking about, well, what's our purpose? We said it's historic preservation through restorative truth-telling and redemptive storytelling.
And their redemptive storytelling began with the name of the ward itself. There were clues that the neighborhood might have been named after Stonewall Jackson, the Confederate general. And through Sisha's research exploring the origins of Jackson Ward that supports much of the project, they may have an answer.
We've recovered significant primary artifacts that would suggest it is more than likely named after Stonewall Jackson. And so, cool. I mean, it's disheartening, but it's reflective of Richmond. It wasn't a surprise. It was like, oh, of course it is.
You know.
Of course it is. Why would we have thought anything else? But that's when we also looked at ourselves and said, okay, well then let's recontextualize it for the only Jackson worthy of the honor, and that's Giles B.
That's Giles Beecher Jackson, a formerly enslaved person who became the first Black attorney certified to argue before the Virginia Supreme Court, and the Jackson that many residents already believed was the namesake. To celebrate the 150th anniversary of the ward's founding and Giles B. Jackson, the Jackson Project launched a series of year-long initiatives. The first was the city of Richmond officially recognizing the ward in honor of Jackson. Last month, the day was marked by a gathering of local residents, living relatives of Giles B. Jackson, and historical tours around the ward. We headed out with historian and tour guide Gary Flowers, who has been running tours of the ward for over 5 years.
We're standing in front of what was formerly the Lee Street Armory. Following the American Civil War, militia were formed in case the Confederates came back. This is the last building in the South that remains of the colored militia. Now it serves as the home of the Black History Museum and Cultural Center of Virginia.
Along the way, we saw the church that was the home to the first African-American congregation pastored by a Black minister in Virginia in 1867, as well as the many Black-owned financial institutions that supported this historic community. As Flowers puts it, the reason so much of Jackson Ward's story has been lost to history is where it's located, Richmond, Virginia, the former capital of the Confederacy.
People have heard of Harlem in New York, they've heard of what was called Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but not as many people are familiar with the history here in Jackson Ward. Why is that?
There's been a willful suppression of history in Jackson Ward, known as the Virginia Way. In more southern states, there was brutality against people who rose up or dared to be dignified and self-determining. The Virginia Way was something different. It was, perhaps we should ignore them, and then the story will never get out.
But one entrepreneur who defied the Virginia Way was Maggie Walker, not to be confused with America's first Black self-made millionaire, Madam C.J. Walker. Maggie Walker helped to grow what would become a prominent mutual benefit society in the first half of the 20th century.
Between 1902 1920. Mrs. Walker, having resurrected the Independent Order of St. Luke, could afford to live in a mansion. Her husband, Armstead Walker, who built the armory, was the leading Black contractor. So together, they were like a Jay-Z and a Beyonce.
Power couple.
Of Richmond, true power couple.
In 1903, Maggie Walker became the first Black woman to found a bank in America. She went on to run several more businesses, and in 1904, helped to successfully shut down the segregated trolley system in Richmond. Her statue, the first dedicated to any woman in Richmond, Virginia, now sits in this plaza in Jackson Ward, and that night, it was part of the larger celebration honoring the 150th anniversary of this area. Throughout the neighborhood, quiet street corners and even train stations lit up to showcase significant sights and images of historic residents.
And if we are bold enough, if we are focused, and if we're intentional, I think that we can start to redefine what, yes, Richmond looks like, but redefine what the blueprint that we provide for the world looks like as well.
Richmond right now is front and center because we are tearing down monuments, as they should come down. But when we set out for the Jackson Project, we really had to make a decision. What is our goal? Is it to take down these oppressive streets, or is it to juxtapose it with the intersecting history where we force you to tell the truth?
Shout out to Jackson Ward, man. I just learned something new just now. My man said it was a Jay-Z and Beyonce at the time. That's hella dope, man. Trap, come to the city. You know what? I think I've only been to Virginia one time, and that was to speak. So I might do have to come to Virginia, man.
What part?
Jackson Ward.
Oh.
That's in what, Richmond?
Yeah. And I only knew that from the video.
Huh?
I only knew that one from the video.
I'm with that. I'm with that. All right, let's go a little further, man. All right, so let's get into it, man. The bears hibernate longer than they attack. So if we're looking at this stat, I actually had came up with a stat for that. It was in my phone, God bless you. I think it was in this phone. That was real dope about the history of this. Okay, watch this. So, the stat says that since 1949, the U.S. stock market has faced 11 bear markets, Jose, right? With its average drop of 33%. By far, but far more powerful bull runs gain an average of 400+%. Drawdowns do happen, but expansion often outweighs the crashes, right? And so when we look at that, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them. And from them, if you look at the upside compared to them, look at those returns from them. Now, the longest one was the earliest one in that 1929 era that lasted a long time, from 1929 to 1949. That was a 20-something year bear market. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that. That was the Great Depression. And I've always said something that they often get shorter in the recovery time. Not saying it's right or wrong, but you know, the market finds a way to bounce back faster. And the crazy part about it is, like, you can feel like you're in it for a long time. But if we think about it, like, if we can endure, the only hard thing is, like, if you're in an option play or something, because then it kind of go against you and you got to, you know, play the other side of it. You kind of don't want to go against your plays. But if you just on some buy and hold, like, yo, like, you can make like, you supposed to be, like, I know I bought more NVIDIA at $83. I didn't get in the option plays, but I bought more of it. And so I've always said you make more money in a drought. And I think that was a great opportunity for us. And I think the only thing that kind of gets me is I hear a lot of people saying, like, the market is overvalued. And I'm not saying that they're wrong, but the market is, in most cases, the market gonna be overvalued more than it is undervalued, because the market is a forward-looking mechanism. You feel what I'm saying? On the flip side of that, what we're gonna have to worry about is when these earnings come out, when Q2 earnings come out and investors are on the other side of tariffs and they start giving earnings and they start giving guidance. I'm interested to see what that's gonna look like. So let's go a little further. So this is a dope one because is the market ready to run? And based on this, the S&P 500 is plus 20% in the last 2 months. This is a good signal for the next year. Why? Because in most cases, after the market comes from a 20% drawdown, it goes crazy after that. Mind you, we was down really heavy. So look at it. 2-month return. After coming from a drawdown like we've come down, the 2-month return in 1 month is 8% in 1975, then 14%, then in 12 months, 27%. The closest was 23%, and then in 2020, and then in 1 month we had 5%, in 3 months we had 14.5%, and in 12 months we had 39.7%. The average 1 month return is 8.2%, 8.2%. The average 3-month return is 12.5%, and the average 12-month return is 30%. All after a 2-month time frame was positive 1, 3, and 12 months after. What you say, Sean?
I said that's really good data to know. Like, considering
I feel like I sound like Kermit the Frog, my nigga. I'm not gonna lie. You feel me? But, you know, it's just a stat. The difference is none of this was done with a Donald Trump in office. I will say that. Man, I was looking at something the other day on my Instagram, bro. I posted it on my story. When I see Richardson up there. Bro, the Olympics was a fun time, bro. Bro, the Olympics is such a vibe in the world, bro. I don't care, bro. Like, them Olympics be having you like, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You won't see it, dog. Bro, ain't nothing like the Olympics, dog. And I'm mad that the Olympics is in California in 2028.
I heard it was a vibe when it was out here.
In Atlanta?
Uh-huh.
Who told you that?
People.
Nobody. Everybody you know was young.
I heard it was that. I guess they remember. I don't know.
Man, niggas was 13 years old, man. They don't remember that shit.
You don't remember stuff like that when you was at that age? That's
96?
Peak prime time, brother.
Bro, 96, my mom actually went to prison, my nigga. I don't remember nothing being. Nah.
Candy lady.
I don't know if I'm not excited about it being in LA, bruh. And not because I don't got nothing against LA, but it was a vibe for me to go out the country and go to the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to Paris to go to the Olympics. I watched ladies volleyball under the Eiffel Tower, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched ladies volleyball. I watched 3 volleyball matches under the Eiffel Tower. I'm sitting next to people from Germany and sitting next to people from Poland or something. We was having a vibe under the Eiffel Tower, lit up.
Just watching competition.
Come on, bro. Lit. Till 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it's not gonna be dope. I'm just saying it was dope in Paris. And it wasn't even because it was Paris. It's just like, yo, I'm out the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Eating pasta. Huh? I think the Winter Olympics is in Italy. Italy, I think the Winter Olympics is gonna be in Italy, and then the next Summer Olympics is gonna be in LA. Yeah, man. Anyway, so how you feel about this, Sean?
No, what I was saying, that's good because consider, and that was June 9th, right? That's what I said, June 9th, 20%, 20.8%.
Yeah, that's as of now. So as of now, from the April low, we've rallied 20.8%.
Mm.
And so the last time we been there was 75, was 20. We got 8 the next month, and then 14%, and then 27% in a 12-month period. So what it says is on average in the next month you get 8%, which is June and July. And in 3 months, September, you have a 12% return. Now that's tricky, because if you look at that, that means you get an 8% in 1 month, and that means you probably get 2% the next month. You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting. But by the 12th month, you get 30%. So that's interesting. But what they say is since from that downturn, when you get a 2-month period that's up 20% or more, 100% of the time, you get a 1, 3, and 12-month double digit. I mean, a 1 month single digit, a 3 and 12-month double digit.
I mean, statistically, I like it. I don't think, even if, like with everything, because again, we need Trump to do the deals. So even through all of that, like, you know, political turmoil and stuff like that, I think even if the numbers are still skewed, like maybe let's say, for example, we get like 4%, 5%, 3%, and then 12%, and then like 20-something%. Like, I'm still not mad at that though, even with everything going on. I think we might be able to statistically still do that though.
Might statistically still be good?
Yeah.
I like it. Let's go further. All right, so the S&P year-to-date and 5-year return. So technology, I mean, year-to-date returns, industrials, utilities, consumers, financial, materials, real estate, the S&P, tech as an overall, it's scaled, energy, healthcare, consumer discretionary. Tech 5 years up 178%, energy, financials. Shit, that's good. That goddamn tech, energy, financials, bro, industrial, that'd be my go-to. All right, let's go a little further, man. God damn. Year to date, leaders of the rally, technology, 34%. Shit. Shout out to Steve, this is a dope graphic. Think about that, bro. Damn, bro. Technology, 34%. Consumer services, communication services, 26%. Industrials. I keep throwing them industrials, bro. I'm telling you, bro. That's why waste management pissing me off. You know what I'm saying? Syntax. I had a Syntax, but I should have stayed in that bitch. That bitch at all-time high right now. And it's off the April 8 closing. So technology, communication services, industrials, and discretionary. This who's leading the rally moving forward. That's who's leading the rally going forward. Let's go a little further. All I do is tell Steve the picture I want, and he go get it, dog. I tell my dog the picture I want, he go get it, you hear me? Dow Jones is 5% off a new year, off a high. S&P 2% off a high. NASDAQ 2.7% off a high. Bruh, that is interesting. That's really one day worth of work. One good day. If you come out tomorrow, they come out tomorrow and say China and U.S. has made a deal, that's done. That's wiped out. They come out tomorrow and say U.S. China made a deal, that's wiped out. Now I will say this. We hit all-time highs. I gotta take some off the table. For sure. I don't mind being 2%, 1%. You know what I'm saying? You hit all-time highs, you gotta take some off the table.
Why are you taking some off the table particularly?
Huh?
Like, obviously it's at all-time high, so you're taking some off to take profit, but you said it like kind of like I definitely gotta take profit. Like,
For sure.
Yeah, so why is that?
I don't like being in nothing when it hit all-time high.
Okay.
What happens is there's gonna be a reason it pushes up, but then psychologically you just understand the market is gonna say, hey, let's take some profit from it.
Yep.
Like, cause there's always that's the psychological part of the game, right? Like, it can have no reason to pull back other than it's just in no man's land, right? And so when it gets in no man's land, for me, you know, that's what, I'm gonna be honest with you, the Palantir play, what I should have done, just thinking back on it, I understood that it do that, but I should have let it hit the no man's land, let it pull all the way back down and got back in it on my second entry, because once a stock hits no man's land, bro, like, it's creating up. So I always say this, think about every stock like this. Every candle on the stock's chart becomes a part of its DNA. If it has no DNA, it has to create it. And so while it's creating the DNA, it's giving us a blueprint on what it can go back to, where it came from, those type of things. So for me, I'm like, all right, let me let it create the DNA, and then now I have a way to feel my way around. Yep.
So what's the difference between, for example, like NVIDIA? Like, you was crushing that junk, like just going crazy. That thing was just creating all-time highs every day, every week, and that thing just kept running. What's the difference between NVIDIA creating all-time highs over and over again versus like Palantir and...
We was getting it off the bounce every time. I was buying 100 and 150 contracts at a time. So it'll hit all-time high, boom, I'll take some off the top. It'll run up, I'll still have a position in it, but when it came back down to that DNA, when it came back down to the DNA that it created, I'll get in another play. And then remember, basketballs bounce, donuts fall flat. It'll bounce, because that's what a good company does. It'll create a new high, people will take some on the top, it'll fall back down, and a lot of times NVIDIA will do that overnight. So we'll wake up in the morning, it's up $25. You're like, whoa. One day we woke up, bro, the stock was up $89. I say, what the hell? We woke up one morning, bro, the stock was up $89. I said, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we was doing. We was taking it, I mean, like, again, I was getting 100, 150 shares, 200 shares. My $1 million play, I had 450 contracts in that $1 million play. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I had 425 contracts. So once it runs up, man, I take some off the table, it'll bounce back down, bounce down, yo, I'll get another position. I had 5 of them jokers in that play at one time. It was just going crazy. So that's what I mean. Like, I don't mean I gotta empty the clip, but I definitely gotta take some off the table. And if it's a new position, I could just wait. But it had to hit that thing 3 times. And just the record shows that if it can hit it 3 times the full time, it'll pop up out of it. You know what I'm saying? So it just didn't pop up out of it. And so, yeah. But normally I like to just, even with Spotify, I did that. Like, if it was just me taking one off the table, 1 or 2, like, I'm going to take that because I know it's going to come down. But what a great company does is, we say it again, it'll come bounce, it'll come back to that base and bounce back up because it just want to keep bouncing high. Remember, the lower high, the higher low gives the higher high a step to bounce off. Does that make sense?
Break it down a little bit more.
So we know that in order for a stock to create an uptrend, it has to consist of what? Lower lows and lower highs. What that means is a high is it going up? I'm about to do this and I don't want to have to do this. All right? So a high, just get the whiteboard. I ain't want to get the whiteboard. Damn, Sean. That's his damn question. All right, get the whiteboard. What time it is? All right, we got time. We got time. We got time. We got an hour. We got time. Tell me if you can see it. Everybody saying it. Nope, trap, whiteboard, dog. They in the chat like, nope, whiteboard, dog. All right, let's get it. All right, before we get into this, add some people in here, share this with somebody who you know want to learn options, who just want to learn this part of it, because this is going to be easy for me to explain, right? So do me a favor, I'm going to give y'all 3 minutes. Share this out with as many people as you can right quick, because this is going to be important. So share this right quick with as many people as you can. Share this with somebody who you know want to learn options, who you know just want to learn how to read a candle chart. Share this with them right quick. Share this with them, share this with them, share this with them, share this with them. Hey, Trap about to break down the candlestick and we need to learn this. Just say it right quick. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Share it, share it, share it. All right, so we're going to start initially from the first thing, which is, what is a candle? Now, I know I done said it before, but it's important we just do it again. So every candle, and this is going to just make it easy so you can understand it. So every candle has 4 distinctive traits. So 4 traits. Every candle has 4 traits. A open, a close, a high, and a low. Now, depending on if the candle was red and green, changes this idea. So a green candle is different. A green candle has an open at the bottom, a close at the top, a high, and a low. All right, I'm just doing this so we can get over it. A red candle has the same thing. And I'm using this so that we can get to where we got to go at. But I might as well just go over it while I'm right here. A red candle has an open, a close, a high, and a low. How do we do this? How do we make this make sense? Well, if a green candle opens here, I'm gonna start with a red candle. If a red candle opens here, then the price pushes down and closes here. Now, what happens is, it'll open here, it can actually open here and go up, it'll be green. But then it may reject it. So the sellers may reject it and push it all the way down and start going red. And then it'll push it back up to where it closes at. So let's just make it make sense. Let's say the candle opens at $80. At some point in this, think about this as activity happening. So some point it may go to 82, 81, it may do this, and then some reason it may go up here to 83. Then it may drop back down to 75, 78, whatever. I'm just making up a number. Come here, and it closes at, I don't know, $76, right? So it opened here, it closed here, meaning if this a 1 hour, so this a 1 hour fight. It opens here at 80. At some point in the 1 hour, it gets up to 82. At some point in this hour, it gets to 77, but it wound up closing at 78. That makes sense? Opened here, closed here, but in that hour, it got this high and it got that low. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right, let's go further. And I'm saying this so we can get to the green, so we can get to what the hell I want to get to. Same thing with the red, with the green candle. Green candles open at the bottom and they push up, right? So it pushes up, so it opens at $80 here. It goes as high as $83. I'm gonna just do this, $85. It closes at $82, but it gets as low as $78. So in 1 hour, it opened at 80. It got as high as 85. The bears rejected it, pushed it somewhere down to 78, but it wound up closing here at 82. Does that make sense? All right. As long as that makes sense, we can go. So every candle has 4 traits. All right. So to get to what we want to do, and what we have to realize is that an uptrend consists of higher highs and higher lows, right? So what that means is you may have something like this. All right, so what you notice is that this is a low, but this low is higher. This low is higher than that low. And then this low is higher than that low. Even though this is a doji candle, the low of it, the open and close is still higher than that low, and then that low is higher than that low. So you have a series of lower, higher lows. I got lower highs. I'm tripping. I did that wrong. My bad, y'all. Let me re-say that. Higher lows. I don't know what the hell. I'm looking at it backwards. I got LH. I mean HL. Yep. I could have said it like that. I said lower highs, but higher lows. No, that is wrong. So now you got higher highs. So you see this high is higher than that high is higher than that high, doji, that high. So let's say you have something like the prices may be 78, 84, 86, and 90. That makes sense? Right? So the highs don't step on the highs, they pivot off the lows. So the lows is what the highs get to step on to go up. Does that make sense? Right, yeah, I had to redo it. My bad, fam. Right, so the lows, higher lows, low, 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 low. Your lows are getting higher, meaning the lowest parts of it are getting higher of it. You feel what I'm saying? And then the higher parts are getting higher. So the highs get to step on the lows to go up. The highs don't step on the highs, they step on the lows to go up. The highs get to step on the lows to go up. That make sense? You feel me? So that's how that go. Now, also, I'll say this. Here's something you can pay attention to. So let's say you have this, and then you have this, then you have this, and let's say you have this, all right? But then this becomes, watch this. Watch this. So then you have this, and then you have this, then you have this, then you have this, then you have this, then you have this. And let's say this is a price. Let's just say this is 100. If what you see here is, what you think this is called? What you think that's called? What you think this called? So this is consolidation. This is when the market is just trading in the range and it keeps hitting, watch this, it keeps hitting resistance, but it can't break it. If the market, if you see candles keep hitting, and it won't be all the same color, just thinking about this while I was saying that. All right, they won't be the same color, but if they keep hitting this, now think about this. This an hour, 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 that an hour. Watch this. If this candles, none of these candles could break this resistance point, it's a good chance that you could get out of this trade. You know why? Because for 5 hours, 7 hours, it couldn't break this resistance, which means, and if you don't have a lot of volume, I don't know why I'm getting into all this. I done went from one thing to another. God damn, that's why I hate getting on this board, and it's your fault. It's your goddamn fault. If it took this long and it can't break past this, and the next candle you see is a doji, it's a good chance. Or if you see a, my favorite one is that gravestone, I will get out of this trade. The reason being, it spent the whole day, or sometimes me, it's 3 hours, depending on what candle. If it spent a day, 2-3 days without breaking this trade, and then you see a gravestone or a doji, for me, I had to get out of the trade just to be safe, because it tried its hardest to break that, and then the 100 block shooters was right there, and they didn't want to let them cross the valley. Right? Because they trying their best to break it, but they won't let them. So it's something stopping them right here. So if I see something trying its best to break that and it can't, I'll step to the side and if I miss out, I'm cool, especially if I'm not down on a play. I'll step to the side for a second to see what's going to happen right here. That just came to my mind because they fight and they can't get free. All right, so let me tell y'all this. So then, let's say you got this. And again, I'm drawing this on a whiteboard, y'all. So let's say you got this. This the one that break our heart here. Hey, this the one that, Sean, this one make you throw the damn phone out the way. This the one make you throw the phone, you hear me? So what you see here is, you see high, and then you see lower high. And then you see low, and then you see what? Lower low. Then you see indecision, but it's still lower. And then you see lower high, then you see lower low, This is about equal, but you see a lower high. Then you see a bounce up, but then you see a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then this is an inducement to the downside. So this is what your downtrend looks like. So if you're looking for a downtrend and you say, hey, this the money shot. This the one that make you say, man, this the one that piss you off. You be right here, you gonna fight it. Once you get to this third one, you start saying, hey, let me get out. I'm good. Let me go to the downside. This the one here, when you trying to navigate and you see that, you just be like, dang. Yeah. Dang. That's the one that busts you up. But yeah, so your downtrend is gonna consist of lower highs and then lower lows. Now, if you want to be early in the downtrend, which I don't suggest, I want you to get confirmation. Usually, to start your downtrend, I'll say this. Usually, to start your downtrend, you'll see this. If you see this, we talked about that in the other show, get out of there, because that means the reversal kind of done already started, right? That's my go-to. If I could, I'm gonna leave it alone. You hear? All right, and if you at your downtrend and you see this, it's kind of, that uptrend about. You should see confirmation. So if you're in a downtrend and you see this on your downtrend, and then the next candle is here, that's almost confirmation that you can get in right here once this start over and then put your stop loss at the bottom of that hammer. That'll help you out a lot. You heard? What you about to say, Sean? You about to say something?
I was going to say, too, because you're using candles right now, too, can you use a line chart showing the uptrend and downtrend?
Oh, my line charts is what I love. But we got to teach, man.
Yeah.
Still have me here all night, you hear? I love it. So honestly, I'll be honest with you. I always check with line charts.
Yep.
So what I love about line charts, let me just give y'all a cheat code. I'm glad Sean said it. So what I do is a lot of times, and I know my Patreon will be like, Trap, man, help me out here. Yeah. So what I do is, because a line chart just gonna look like this. A line chart not gonna have a lot of the gaps. It's not gonna have those dojis. It's literally just gonna be. So what I'll do is, on my line chart, I'll go wherever these at. Just draw and then I'll go back to the candles and see how my marks lined up on my candles. So I'll have my candlesticks coming, whatever way they going, and I'll double check my candles with my line charts. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was saying, you remember the content you was doing with Cam? Do you have the previous ones on the board?
We gotta.
There it is. Mm-hmm.
Did I use the line chart in there?
Yeah, that was it, right there.
That wasn't a line chart.
But it's showing like the line.
My lines?
The uptrend, the lower high, lower low.
Oh, yeah. God damn. No, not that. I got so much content on here, dog. Now, Jose, this your son. So remember, when you go telling me about the thing being late, don't come to me, come to your son. You hear me? Let's see which one we was, right here. All right, so if we can look at this, you can see this downtrend. We can see this downtrend. All right, so you can see right here, you got a high, right? And then you got a what? Lower high. And then you got a what? Lower high. And then you got a what? Lower high. And then you got a what? This called an inducement or engulfing, which means banks pushed it up, right? But watch this. From here, this high is right at that. And then from there, you get a what? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. This is an actual, so he put y'all in my business, but we went got this. So what we do all the time is go find candles to match what we trying to teach y'all on. That's why y'all gotta go to the personal page, because we really be teaching over there. So then you get this right here, which is your what? Consolidation. Then you get this what? You get this. You get the candle over candle, which also shows you that even in a downtrend, you'll get these. All this simply is the market trying to fight back. This is the market trying to fight back. So what you got to do is, once you see this taking place, this is where your trend line start to help you at, right? Because if you draw your trend line, you'll see what? It bounces up, comes back down, which now gives you what? Lower high, lower high, lower high. Market fights right here. Then what it get? Lower high, lower high. Doji, lower high. Consolidation. Bounce up, right? And then if you come back, lower, lower, low, lower, low, lower, low, lower, low, lower, low, you get the inducement that happens. But if you're strong enough, you say, hey, it didn't kick. So when I'm looking at something like this is what my saying comes to that. You laugh. It don't break this neck, right? It don't break that neck. And where does this come? If you look at this, it matches this low, that this high, this little trend right here is based off this inducement, right? Here, 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 here. You see this here, and then we start coming down. So if I'm looking at this, it doesn't break this, which is the next candle that starts this uptrend. So it doesn't break that neck right there, and it starts going back down. So as long as it don't break this neck, I'm not scared of it. For me, if it don't break this neck, I'm not scared. Now, if it would have came here, I ain't gonna lie, I would have thought about, hey, let me see what's going on. So the next candle would have mattered. But it bounced up. It didn't scare me because you got in. Right here is probably somewhere right here. If I'm looking at this and this probably gonna be my supply zone. Top of that body, top of that wick. So I see it then bounce there, bounce back down. Does that make sense? God damn. God damn. Sean, stay out of my business, my dog. All right, so I guess since we doing that, Jose, we'll show it on the backside too. Now y'all done messed up my damn, did we put this content out already? Y'all done messed my damn content up now. God damn. All right, so here, you kind of see the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You get this right here. This will help you. So right here, you get and this is beautiful right here. Why? Because it overtook this. It didn't give it a chance to do that. You get this inducement, engulfing, takes that over. Then you get the 3 white soldiers, right? Which is solidification, right? So we come up off here. Now watch this. For me, this candle right here becomes a neck. It becomes a neckline. Why? Because this the first candle, and this the way I look at stuff. The first candle that follows the candle that changes the position. Does that make sense? That makes sense what I just said? The first candle that solidifies the change in position. Does that make sense? In my mind, that becomes a pivotal position for me. So what you see is, you see this go up, and watch this. You start to, and you look at this candle, It never breaks that line. This also becomes a demand zone for me. Why? Because we get the inducement, we get the confirmation, that candle becomes a demand zone for me. Always. That's how I set them. That's how I set them. But it has to be off of a large candle, not off a little bitty candle. It gotta be a large, because this tells me the sharks just jumped in the water. This tells me the whale said, I see action. So once I see that, I need something to tell me, the following candle tells me that they're serious about this play. So the next candle becomes a demand zone for me. And if you notice on this, they never break that. So watch this. If I'm watching this and I just use that method, God damn, Sean, you out there bad, dog. That nigga made me do that. Matter of fact, don't come in here no more, dog. So what happens is now this candle and this candle becomes my demand zone, right? And so for me now moving forward, I'm a rock out, right? And so now, if you notice, again, it has to be after a large move. So what I'm gonna do now is, if I use this as my demand zone, and then I use this next candle right here as confirmation to get in, if I get in this play right here, and I say, once I get in this play, my stop loss or my play to look out is here, my next support zone will be right here. Just if I'm just basing it off this because I don't see what's behind me. So now I can get in this play right here and just say, hey, this one I'm rocking out at. This is my demand zone. This is the candle that tells me go crazy, right? And you rock out. And if you just played this candle here the whole while, you'd have got here, you'd have got some consolidation, but you never would have broke your supply, your demand zone. You bounced it right here, you touched it, and then you shot back up. So that's it, man. That's what I got for y'all, man. God damn. Matter of fact, I don't even got to do my candle thing tonight. I'm gone.
Shout out to everybody who just found out about the personal page.
Huh?
I said shout out to everybody who just found out about the personal page.
They just found out about the personal page?
A lot of people here, they ain't know. You know what I'm saying? So that you go deep like that on the personal page. So
yeah, that's what we've been working on.
Everybody go hit the personal page, exclusive content over there on the personal page. This light work, you know what I'm saying, compared to the personal page right here. Let's go.
How the hell I got there? All right, let's go, man. We ain't staying all night now. Let's see what we got next. Let's do, let's go.
Yo, what's going on, Trap? My name is Roy. I'm not sure if you remember me from the Tony Robbins event, but I had approached you, and man, you inspired me with how much money you was making on the daily. I think you was up like 52K on the daily that day. But man, it just drove me to learn more about it. And guys, I would honestly invest into his options masterclass and his options 101. He dumbs it down to the fullest. My question to you, Trap, is whenever you're looking for a strike price, I know you got this method of the 20, 15, and 10% rule when going out of the money. Can you just go into an example of a company of your choice of like last week's data? That way I can just understand it a little bit more better. Thank you for the opportunity to be on the show, man. And thank you, Jose, for facilitating this. God bless.
Man, and that goes to show y'all, bro, like I really that Tony Robbins event was nice too, dog. I ain't gonna lie, that dude a real transformational dude, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that man got me to walk on fire, bro. That's transformational, dog. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Let me just say something before I answer that, man. Did y'all understand what the hell I was doing right there? Did that make sense?
I couldn't catch. I'm running back and forth.
Yeah.
Part of it. Yeah.
Let's just ask them in the chat, does that make sense?
Now, I say in regards to what people were saying, though, nah, you was cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like, they say, yo, we need a whiteboard compilation. That's what I said. Hey, head over to the personal, because it's all
go to the personal page. I want to know before we get on that, you did a little nice. Shout out to Nettie, man. Shazam, what's up, fam? Yeah. Just wanted to make sure In the beginning, I was looking at it backwards, so I couldn't. I don't know why I had to adjust for some reason. You hear me? Yeah, it's just, yep. So yeah, man, I appreciate you, bro, for tapping in. And it's just the idea of that is simply looking at, it works really well in like really powerful bullish markets. And so essentially you take that first initial stock, I can't really say it because it's the formula. You know what I'm saying? But ask me in a Patreon. Yeah, I can't really say it because it's the formula. You know what I'm saying? And people pay for that. But essentially, the 10, 15, 20 is you wait until that specific stock pull back a certain percentage, and once it pulls back that certain percentage, you get your strike by using that formula. If that's the best way I can say it. But what I will tell you is go in the Patreon group tonight after the show and say, Trap, this is me. Explain the formula to me, and then I'll explain it to you. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be appropriate for people who paid for it for me to just say it. You know what I'm saying? It's the formula I personally created. You know what I'm saying? So no disrespect to nobody, but I gotta respect the people that paid for it. Same way I white out a play that I just made in the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? So just DM me tonight after the show. Wait till after the show so I can go check it. If you do it right now, I'm gonna miss it because, they be chatting. But get in the group chat in the Patreon and after the show is over and say, hey, Trap, this is me that asked for the formula. And then I'm gonna DM it to you and explain it to you. So yeah, do that. Yeah, that way I don't, we love y'all, but I still gotta respect, what I'm saying, what they doing. So for sure, let's go.
So Trap, back with another video. So I got a question for you. My dream is become an institutional trader / investor, and I want to know what would be the best advice to give to me, or what would you do to get on a major hedge fund or investment bank? Okay, I've been applying to some internships, and I just want to know what else would you do, or where should I start looking to start making connections? So that's my dream, and I just wanted to talk to you. Thanks, Trap.
Man, look at Miguel, y'all. I think you're doing the right thing, Miguel. I think you apply for those interns, kind of like I'm doing with Sean. Only thing dope is I should have let Sean ass keep interning. Sean was interning for a while before I started paying him. He was showing up. I think that you apply for those interns and you work your butt off. You know what I'm saying? So I think you're doing the right thing. I think that you should be, because when you go to those institutions, they don't just trade, they use a lot of formulas. They use a lot of formulas, a lot of mathematics, a lot of quants is what they call it. They use a lot of quants. But I think that, Miguel, I think that'd be good for you too. Just to understand the rules that they play by. But I think just signing up for those interns, showing up every day. Go look at Pursuit of Happiness, what Will Smith did. You know what I'm saying? He just showed up every day, knocking on the doors. You know what I'm saying? Eating shit to not verbatim, but just willing to just outwork people, outdo people. And I think people take that for granted. I think people take the idea of just working hard, taking shit for granted. I was listening to this, I'm reading this book right now, and they talking about Jeff Bezos. And one of the dudes said he was new to the business. And he said they was having lunch, and Jeff Bezos just grilled him. He asked him why he ain't have something, and before he didn't give him an answer, he gave him an excuse. And Jeff just grilled him. He said, I don't pay you to give me excuses. And Jeff went into the different ways, how he should have got it done, why he should have did it, yada, yada, yada. And then everybody looked at him at lunch and said, oh, he like you. And he was like, what? The way he just grilled me? And they was like, You just got initiated. That's the level of excellence. And he was like, damn, it changed his mind. I'm saying that to say, when you look at Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happiness, they was grilling him. They was on him. Even from a situation where the dude asked Will for $5, and Will, that was the last $5 Will had, 20 Will had, or whatever. Dude paid him back. But it was, in that internship, you gotta be willing to take what's necessary, go hard. And here's the one that I'll tell you. It's real talk. This is why I told Cam, act like you're gonna take Jose's job. Jose ain't never felt that pressure before. Because he's so focused on me, which he should be. But if Cam start applying pressure, it's gonna make Jose say, oh, I gotta work 10 times that hard, and then come trying to take my job. Even if he don't think like he gonna take my job, what it is if Cam just keep on evolving, getting better, I got this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Just the nature in Jose, the nature of the team gonna say, bet, this is the type of time we on. Competition breeds success. What do you think happened as an intern? You come in there, you ain't getting paid no money, and you outworking the people that's making money? First of all, the person who run the business is gonna say, hey, who that is? Hey, why he doing this? Why? Then you start looking at the people you paying. I'm paying you 50, 60, 70, 80, 90,000 a year. I'm paying him for free. Guess what? You hired, you fired. Because I can pay you 60 to the person I was paying 100 and save the business 40,000, 30,000, whatever that is. And then you gonna make the business money. And then when I do pay you 100, you've already doubled the needle for me. So Miguel, as an intern, go get it. And when you get it, work your ass off. Because you could take somebody's job. I'm not the person that don't believe in corporate America. People like, I ain't never seen nobody get rich in corporate America. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. So, Miguel, go work your butt off, dog. You already got some skill. You're a hustler. You're a hard worker. Get some more under your belt. Keep learning. Keep studying. Go take somebody's job, bro. Go take somebody's job. Come back in the trap and tell them, hey, I took somebody's job, Trap. You know what I'm saying? So let's go, man.
Good afternoon, Trap. I want to thank you and Jose for taking my call. And I want to thank you for the encouraging words that you give us, especially the one regarding diversity, which in my home state in California, we're definitely facing some of that. And I believe some of your words have really encouraged a lot of us. Not only is it regarding finance, but it also goes beyond that, and it helps the community a lot. And I want to thank you for that. Getting to my question, I'm in the process of selling my home, and I would like to know once I get my home sold, where do I go from there? What's the best way? I know you've touched upon ETFs, and I've joined the Patreon group, and I want to thank everybody in the Patreon group, Wall Street Trappers, Wall Street Anonymous, and Wall Street Looks Like Us Now. Thank you, Trap.
Was she in the back of an armor truck?
I don't know where she was at. They said she on the plane, she on the truck.
Facts. Shout out to the
queen.
queen. Shout out to the queen, man. We appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for the words. We appreciate you being part of the community for sure. I guess it depends on what's the goal after you sell a house, right? I wouldn't be in a rush to do nothing. I would, I think the thing now, unless I missed something, but I thought I heard it, it was like after I sell a house, what's next, right? Yeah, I think the goal would be, what is the goal after you sell a house? What do you want to do? Why are you selling a house? Are you selling a house to downsize? I know shit is expensive in California, you know what I'm saying? So are you selling a house to downsize? So I think all of that comes into play on the reason for selling a house so we can understand what's the goal next. So I don't want to be like, yeah, go get in this, go do that, go do this. I think I would personally need more context so I can give you a great idea on, you know, that's a what would Trap do moment. You know, if I sold a house, I'll give you an example. Like I told my moms, I said, man, you know, sell that house. You did, come live with me, and then you'll have a couple $100,000 to be sitting on, or whatever they give it to you for. Take that money. I know you want your own independence. Get you a townhouse. Get you a townhouse. You'll be working at the Freedom Center. You'll have something to do, and then we can start investing that money the way you want to invest it. You know what I'm saying? And then we can start setting goals. I can give her a strategic plan because I understand what's the idea of, you know, what she wants. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't feel correct if I told you what to do without knowing your goals, you know, without understanding your, you know, 6-month goal, 1-year goal like that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't feel comfortable saying do this or that without knowing, like, you know, what's the family like? You know, do you got a family? Do you got kids? Like, kind of all those things have to be contextualized before I can give you that. Let's go. I know they ain't what you mean, but, you know.
What's going on? I appreciate you for taking time out your day to take my question. What's up, Trap? Appreciate everything you're doing for me, man. I've been learning a lot, even though you didn't give a damn about my life story on that last Zoom call, but it's all good, though. But I just wanted to ask you about how I need to be allocating the money I'm putting into my brokerage account. Right now, I'm putting about $1,600 a month into the brokerage account, and most of it I've been allocating towards the options account to try to, you know, get on some of these plays that we've been having recently. I've only hold Nvidia and Tesla right now in my buy and hold account, but I want to start growing that a little bit more. So right now I'm just trying to figure out the percentages that I need to be doing to put into my options account and my buy and holds account, man. Appreciate you, Trap.
Man, that's a great question. I got you with this one. That's good, man. I definitely want to tell the queen, my bad. Shout out for adding me into your thank you. You hear me? Shout out for adding me into the thank you. That's all I want to say. You know what I'm saying? King, I think you're doing a good job. You say you're doing $1,600 a month in the options portfolio. What I would do is set a number. So if you're doing $1,600 a month in the options portfolio, that means in 2 months, you're sitting on about $3,200. In 3 months, you're sitting on about $4,800. Right? I think that's good. So I think once you get, let me see. Yeah, once you get that, I think once you can get to about $6,400 in the options account, because you're doing $1,600 a month, right? Once you get to $6,400, I would swap over to doing $1,000 in a buy and hold and $600 in the options. I would do that for a couple months and then alternate to going $600 in the buy and hold and $1,000 in the options. I would do it in 1 quarter increments, right? No matter what happens, I would do that in 1 quarter increments. That way you have 1 quarter where you're doing $1,000 a month in options, which is $3,000, and you have that same quarter you're doing $1,800 a month in buy and hold, right? And then that'll flip. Now, on the flip side of that, that's how I would play the game, moving forward every month, no matter what's going on. Then with my buy and hold account, what I would do is, you got Nvidia, you got Tesla, I will put a number on it. I want to own this many Nvidias, I want to own this many Teslas, right? In a certain strike range. And then I would get 3 more companies that I'd said, these are my starting 5. Once I lock in these 5 at this many shares, the goal is to move forward. And that's what I would do. I would say, and then I would find which one is my top 3, and which one is my big dog. So I have a starting 5, I have a top 3, and I have a big dog that's gonna move the account. Once I get that 5, my goal is to get this many shares in that 5 before I add a 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. What that's gonna do is, I'll be honest with you, it's gonna make you so pinpoint accurate with your portfolio. Like, one of the things that I think that people kill themselves with is they are overexposed. They got too many stocks. What if you only could pick 5 or 10 stocks in your whole career? You would be really, 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 like, strategic on when and why you buy those stocks. Well, treat it that way. You know what I'm saying? I would treat it that way. I would say, all right, like, here's my 2. I already got NVIDIA and Tesla. I know what that is. Let me map out my next 3. What is my next 3 stocks that I would like to own? And now, if NVIDIA and Tesla not in the price range I want them in, I'm going to my 3rd stock. I'm going to my 4th stock. I'm going to my 5th stock. Once I have my 5 stocks, I want to own 10, 15, 20 of them, all right? Once I own 20 of them, the goal is to own 25 of them, right? You can set that goal. I'm not going to move until I own 25 NVIDIAs, 25 Teslas, 25, all right? Bet, right? My big dog may be the one that's going to push it. So you say, if it's NVIDIA, I'm not going to move this until I own 25 NVIDIAs, 20 Teslas, 15 Apples, so many Googles, so many whatever, right? And so once you own that, you say, all right, now it's time for me to not add 5 more. What's my next number, right? Because I want us to play the game from a perspective of, like, it's good that we starting, but we got to realize that freedom comes not from owning a whole bunch of stocks, but owning a whole bunch of certain stocks, right? So I would rather you own 100 shares of NVIDIA than 1 share of 100 companies. Does that make sense? I would rather you own 100 shares of NVIDIA, 100 shares of Apple, 100 shares of Eli Lilly, 100 shares of Costco than owning 500 shares of 500 companies. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather you own a game like that. You know what I'm saying? Going really, really deep on the ones that you own. Like, in my primary account, like, I own 1,000 shares of this, 1,000 shares of that, 8,000 shares of this. 10, I don't own 10,000. Most I own is 9,000 shares of NVIDIA. And I got that because it's split. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather you do that than just have a whole ETF, right? Because then you get better returns that way. And I would play my options portfolio like that. And I think when I put the Tesla play in today, I said something that I'm gonna start doing every time I make a play in a group. It's, can you lose? I asked them 3 questions. How much of this can you lose? Are you willing to lose? Am I being greedy? And I forgot what the other one was. How much of this can I lose? Am I being greedy? And is this out of my budget? I think we need to ask ourselves that question every time before we get in a play. And if you can answer that question confidently, yo, am I being greedy right here? Meaning, bro, am I just chasing a play? Am I just chasing a play? Because if I am, let me sit my ass down. 2, how much of this, if this goes this way, how much am I willing to own before I say, hey, can I lose half of this? And the 3rd one is it on my budget? That's gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? A comfort zone, a budget. Yeah, like, bro, like, where am I at with this? Like, if I put this play in, because here's the thing, if it's out your comfort zone or out your budget, then that means you gonna sweat this play. You know what I'm saying? You gonna sweat this play. And every time it move $1 or 50 cents the way that you want it to be, you're gonna be like, hey, I took my, it was up 5% and I just got out of it. It was down $3, I just got out of it because it's out your budget. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a bad thing to say that something is out your budget in a moment. Don't mean it's gonna be out your budget forever. Right now, I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think we start taking those things into account, we don't be so stressed about the damn play. You know what I'm saying? If I got $10,000 in my account You know, and this plate might cost $3,000, $4,000, man. You know, $5,000, like Eli Lilly plate costed $8,000 a pop. You got $10,000, man, I'm not messing with that plate. So you gotta ask yourself those questions. Be patient, the market gonna reward us, man. So let's go a little further, man. All right, man, so that's good to fall in. 2,000 is hard to come by for most Americans, man. 52% of Americans, 52% of U.S. consumers cannot cover a $2,000 emergency expense using only savings, according to a federal survey. Furthermore, 31% of Americans cannot handle a $500 unexpected expenditure. A record 37% of respondents describe inflation and prices as their main financial challenge in 2024. By comparison to 2023 and 2022 and 2016, the percentage was 35%, 33%, and 8% respectively. Right, look at this, man. Federal Reserve survey shows more than half of Americans can't cover a $2,000 emergency expense using their savings, bro. That's why we reverted back to earlier, and I said, at first I used to agree to it, but now I do. I think everybody should have, before you even think, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, like, if you ain't got $1,500 to $2,000 put up, you shouldn't be trading. I'm being honest with you. If you don't got $1,500 to $2,000 saved, you shouldn't be trading. And I'll stand on it. Reason being, if you don't got $1,500 to $2,000 put up, you too close to the edge. And if you that close to the edge, you can't trade with a peace of mind. I'm just being 100% real.
You watching it like your life depend on it.
Because your life do depend on it.
Right, because it does.
You can trade with $10, man. I ain't on that type of time, man. The problem is, we so, and we can end the show on this. You know, bro, we so in survival mode, bro. We looking for, watch what I'm about to say here, man. Can this market change your life? Yes, it can. But somebody said, yeah, you can start trading with $10. Yep, but what happened when the market wiped that $10 out? Right? What happens? What happens? Right? What happens when you start with $1,000 and all you got is $1,000 and the market wiped that out? What if you had your last $1,000 in the market and then we hit February 19th? What happens when you put your last $1,000 in the market and we hit April 2nd? Where the market just wipes us out. Because that happens. It ain't about, yeah, you can start with that. But bro, like, what's your outlook? I think a lot of times people come into this market with these unrealistic expectations. And to me, that's what white people out. So if you ain't got $1,500, bro, $2,000, and that may seem like, man, nobody got time for that trap, bro, like, that shit gonna only take you so far. And watch this, the market may not even need it. Life may make you take it out the market. Because an unexpected emergency is just that, an unexpected emergency. And if you can't take the time to say, bro, let me save $1,500 to $2,000, you got the wrong mindset anyway. because that means you are incapable of managing your financial emotions. And if that pushes you to the market, then what you think gonna happen when you get in a situation? Man, let me get that. What happens when you got that 500 in the market and it's not in buy and hold? Remember I said trading. What happens when you got that 500 in a trade and it go down 100? Bro, you about to get up out of there, man. Man, I'm good, man. And here's the crazy part about it. It can do you that 5 times in a row. It can do you that 5 times in a row. You know what people done told me in the group sometime? Bro, Trap, you in 15 plays. How I'm in the only 2 plays that's down? I say, bro, I don't know. I go into the same intent with every play. Like, damn, dog, like, I'm in the only 2 that's down, bro. God damn. The market can do you that, bro. The market can do, because the market don't have no sympathy. The market don't care if that's your last 500. The market don't care if you need bond money. The market don't care if you need rent money. So man, I've been for that maybe the last year I've been on it. I'm like, bro, if you ain't got 1,500 to 2,000 saved, man, focus on that first. Because the market, honestly, respectfully, the market ain't going nowhere. That's the dope part about you not being in a situation to be in a rush to be in the market. You don't gotta be in a rush. Every day, Monday through Friday, and except for holidays, it's open. Don't try to build a house on sand, family. Build it on solid ground. And like in the words of my dog Ozell in the group, bro, it's a patient man's game. That's not just patient to make a play, but it's patient enough to put yourself in position so you can have the confidence to be in the play. And they got a great saying, man. Don't invest no money in a market that you can't afford to lose. And that's one of the many reasons why I can always say that when I play the market, I ain't stressing because my life ain't dependent on that. And I ain't putting no money in the market. I don't have no money in the market that I ain't willing for the market to take away from me. I'll get up here and I'll laugh like, man, waste management pissing me off. It is, but at the end of the day, like, if that thing was to zero out right now, I'd be like, all right, bet. So I just ask y'all to just trade with caution and just be adult about your financial situation. Don't let the greed of the market push you to the market. And with that, I love y'all, and good night. I'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. You know, I'll see y'all if you're in Dallas. I'll see you at Trappin. I'll see you at Good Soil. See you at Good Soil, man. Make sure you get your merch. Father's Day, code word salute. Links out now. Come join the Patreon. Y'all know we getting to it. Check out the personal page. We won't get that to 1 million. I told Speed we can get that to 1 million in a year, bro. You know what I'm saying? What am I missing, Jose? Oh, tomorrow. Journey to Freedom come out tomorrow. And make sure you download on all podcast platforms, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Good night.